Welcome to Jude, the podcast. I'm David Jude. I'm your host for the show. And once again, thank you to everyone who has downloaded, listened, shared some of our time together. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. It does mean a lot to us. Listen, do we have a great show for you on this episode? I can't wait to make this introduction and let you guys hear this great time we had in the studio with our next guest. Well, let's just get to it. Robert Eskridge of Robert Eskridge Country. It's Robert Eskridge and Southern Daze. Man, you guys are in for a treat. Live music in the studio this time. Yes, we had live music. Listen, we had Robert and his longtime guitar player, one of them, Sam Pollock, stop by the studio and talk about their journey into the world of country music, how they write songs, how they get an album created, etc. You're going to find that fascinating, but you're also going to find fascinating Robert's history in music. My gosh, man. Talented group of people. They've had number one songs on Indie World Country, multiple top 10 songs, New Music Weekly. When I tell you they're outperforming the big names, I mean those names. The big names, and you'll hear Robert say it. It's a fascinating story. Won multiple awards, great music, talented guys. I hope you enjoy it. Here's a challenge for you too. I want to challenge you guys to listen to the last song that they play, and tell us, send Robert a message if he should release that song. I'll go on and give you my answer. They need to release that song. It's that good. It's an awesome song. Played acoustic right here in the studio. Enjoy the show. As you'll hear him say, the best way that you can help a band is to download their music. You can find Robert Eskridge and Southern Daze anywhere that you find your music. It's 99 cents a song. Just pick a song. That would help them. Go see a show. Buy some merch. Tell somebody about them. Anyway, these guys are the real deal. I think you're going to enjoy it. Check out our show sponsors, and we'll see you on the next show. Enjoy. So I guess you guys survived the eclipse, okay?
Yeah, I was in between planting wildflowers and Julie going, it's out, put your glasses on. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do here. He was looking up between them. She goes, don't look at it unless without your glasses. So we spent probably 45 minutes, and it was, I don't know about you guys, but it was like really dark, cloudy. Then you get a little peephole of sun.
Yeah.
Then it would go away, and then it would be a little peephole of sun. So in between the flower planting and throwing the ball for the dog, we'd be hollering, hey, there it is. And then on my way here, I called my wife. Coolest thing. So digress us a little bit. Coming out Ash Grove Road, I see this dude in a tuxedo with a sign. This was like a 2-lane county road, no line, right?
Right.
Tuxedo with a sign. I'm like, what in the heck? I turn around and look. On the way by him, it's got an M. About 100 yards up, there's another dude, sparkly hat, tank top, bow tie.
Yes.
Pair of shorts. It's his buddy. Got to know. Go up another 100 yards, and I go and I finally find the word prom. And then I get up to Tate's Creek Road and Brandon Crossing says, will you? And it's somewhere the go-to didn't make it. But I called Julia. I said, you're not going to believe this. This dude is going to ask the girl to go to prom. I guess it's prom season. And he's got his buddies lined up down Ash Grove Road spelling out, will you go to prom? And he's standing there in a tuxedo sweating it like crazy. I said, but that's not the worst of it. There's not a damn cloud in the sky. Yeah. And this is 20 minutes ago. I was trying to watch this eclipse. This is the dumbest thing ever. It's crazy. But I thought, man, that's cool. I wish my kids got asked to go to prom like that. That's kind of neat.
Will you prom is what it turned out to be.
It's like, will you prom?
Yeah. Huh?
Where'd you go two guys go, man?
They're taking a leak on the other side of the fence.
They were not around. I was laughing. This is will you prom? Oh, God.
Yeah, I had the windows open here just to see it, but it was so cloudy, and there was a reflection off a car in the parking lot. So that was I wonder if radiation comes off a windshield, but.
Well, we asked the kids, because was it 5 or 6 years ago, there was one of those or something. Mm-hmm. And we made the box, like the shoe box, put the tube, put all the stuff in there. We spent hours trying to get. Easy goes, we never did that. I'm like, what do you mean we didn't do it? You were the one that was helping me cut the holes. She was, I don't remember that. I'm like, that's why I take pictures for everything. I have a picture for everything. I'll go find that picture of your box. Yeah. Especially if I drink bourbon, I'm really snapping pictures.
That's right.
Picture taker.
That's right. I wouldn't serve you that back bottle, by the way. The one's called Fresh. Yeah, I wouldn't serve that to my.
Rough.
Yeah, it was the, I guess, first batch, and it's better now, evidently, but not that bottle. So if you decide to have some here in a little bit, don't grab that one.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it to you.
Bourbon. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I can't get over all the distilleries and the specialty bourbons, but Georgetown, it's a blue something. There's some big brand, and they built a Google-like building.
Oh, yeah?
In Scott County to have a distillery.
Yeah, I guess they're going everywhere.
Yeah. Leonard Skinner was in town for their whiskey.
Oh, that's right.
Hell House.
Hell House.
That's in Lexington? Is that where that distillery is?
It's there's a black guy that owns it, I think. It was one of the first black or African-American, whatever, guys that kind of opened up this bourbon. And I guess Leonard Skinner's band is kind of the big name behind it, too.
How about that?
Yeah, that's really cool. Michael Crutcher was telling me that.
Yeah, I saw they did some type of, I'm sure it's Facebook's where I saw it, but the two main guys there coming out to Gray Line Station or something.
Was down there and played with the Bedford kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. We always laugh. We always tell the Bedfords if we see them, like, you're like our mini-me's. We were you 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? They play all the 70s rock and the stuff, kind of got their own little eclectic vibes. Like, that was us 40 years ago. This is what you're going to look like, in 40 years, kid. Just be ready.
Be ready for it.
Yeah, they went to the commercial music program at Moorhead. And
wow.
They're really good. And that was, what's your assignment? I've got to learn this Led Zeppelin song.
The entire album in some cases.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It was interesting. Those guys would be a good one to have on your show.
Yeah, they would
have a good following. Colin, can't remember Colin's last name. He's a DJ for 105.5 The Hank. But he now plays guitar for them. So Sam May and I guess Tristan Frazier, the drummer. But they're just a little trio, and they're good.
Yeah, we need to do that. We're trying to circle back and have some musical acts from time to time among our other topics.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying a minute ago, there's just such talented people,
many different things
right here beside us that you want to feature them and do something for them.
Yeah.
Man, I was telling Amanda earlier, from the music point of view, I don't know how you and I didn't connect on music way back when.
I don't know that.
Yeah, so that would have been...
I played Van Hoose's a gazillion times.
Did you really?
I played Creekview, Van Hoose's. I was all over the place back when I was younger. Everywhere.
I don't have any idea how... so I would be working. I'd be standing in the intersection at 1 o'clock when you're done.
That's right. Yeah, sure.
What was it's the Chinese place across the street.
Oh, yeah.
That bar was still open then.
It was. I played the second floor of that.
Yeah, the second floor. Had
Paradise Cafe.
Yeah.
That was Jessie's first job. She was a waitress there.
The drummer's back's always on that window, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's true. We always laugh because Carrie's the drummer, and he's like, in every picture, you were right in front of me every time. I'm like, I try to move to the side, dude. Just if you know his picture's coming, get over here behind your cymbals.
Isn't that the ongoing drummer joke? Yeah.
I saw this meme the other day. I sent it to him. It's been longer than the other day. But this drum kit had like an 8-foot head on the bass kit, so the singer couldn't stand in front of him. It was the funniest thing. And it's like, never again. And the drummer's back there with a big smiling face. It was so good.
Poor drummers.
I know. I feel bad. And Carrie's good. And he sings too, right? So for our band, what's different about us? So I sing probably 60% of the songs.
Oh.
And that's probably pretty much it. Sam will do a couple each set. Carrie will do one. If I can get him to do one song a set, it's good. And Kevin will do a couple of songs he said. So for us, you get a set of 10 or 11 songs. You just don't get all Robert. You get a couple of Sam. You get a couple of Kevin. You get one of Carrie. And we all sing harmony. So in today's world where you just hear auto-tune or somebody else singing and you get one tone the whole time, you'll hear, hey, there's 4-part harmony coming on. Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
We did, what's it? Not the Barrel Room. What was the place over in Frankfurt? We did Brick Alley.
Brick Alley.
So we played the Brick Alley, and one of the guys came in and goes, man, why don't y'all do Seven Bridges Road?
Yeah.
We haven't really done that song out very much, and so we didn't have an acoustic, so Sam got his guitar out, and so we just did it. And we had 4-part harmony, and they sent me just a really down and dirty iPhone version. Was it iPhone or the Google, whatever?
Yeah.
But, dude, I was shocked. I'm going to put it on an EPK. It sounded really good.
Did it really?
I was just absolutely flabbergasted.
I think that's one of those gold standards, or one of those. If you're going to
do it,
you better
do it good.
You better do it right.
That's right.
Yeah. So how did you guys get to the 4-part harmony? Is that just something natural? Is that something you've worked at? How did you get there?
It's natural that we all sing and like to sing, but probably the last year and a half, we worked really hard at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say probably until, probably about a year and a half ago, this is the truth. We'd show up at a gig, and I'd send in the gig list. I'd say, all right, we're playing Frankfurt on this date. We show up, and I just go, here's your set list. We never practiced. They show up, and I got the song, who's singing it, and the key. And if whoever sung it said, I don't remember, it's like, no problem, I got it. I'll do that one, pick another one. So for the first probably 2 or 3 years with this group, we just showed up and played.
Wow.
And what the turning point for me was when we released probably the 3rd song off of this album, Simple Things. It was I Can't Win for Losing You.
Yeah.
It had some nice twin guitar licks.
Yep.
And it was great. So they kill that. But it had some good harmonies on it. And I'm a firm believer that if you're going to put a song on radio, when you show up, it should sound like it does on radio. If it doesn't, then you need to go practice some more. You need to go figure out whatever it is you need to do. But yeah, so that was when we really started doing it. So Kevin's got a studio over near Bryan Station Road where he lives. And we just go in there. We'll practice. We started practicing on Tuesday night. And we'll say, okay, we'll send out a list. Here's the songs we're going to learn tonight. And there'll be 5 or 6 songs on there. 3 or 4 of them we probably already know. Just tighten it up. Who's going to sing what? There'll be a couple new ones, and we'll hit those 2. And we don't do them right the first time. It'll be next week we do them until, okay, all right, that feels good. We'll put that on a set list. We just did this with Red Dirt Road from Brooks and Dunn. Somebody wanted to hear it. I was like, I know it, but he doesn't. And Kerry doesn't know the drum lick, so we'll learn it. 4 weeks later, we put it in the show, and I tell you what, other than not having a mandolin and a keyboard, it sounds really good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty quick turnaround, really.
Yeah.
To go from a new idea.
These guys really have good, everybody's got a good ear, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like and the other thing that's nice about is if I'm off and Sam goes, I think you're a little sharp, or I think you're a little flat. Instead of, and I've been in bands, they're like, screw you, I'm not flat. I think it's you. We're like, oh, no big deal. Let's go back to it. Let's do it. Just give me the notes. Strum the soap. He'll take his guitar. He's great. Here's your note. Boom, boom, ding. You need to be there. Easy. And from that point on, you know where you're at.
Yeah.
It's actually quite nice. And I guess the friendship that you get and just doing that, nobody's got an ego. Nobody really gets upset. It's like, yeah, all right, I'm flat. No sweat. Hey, I can't hit that note. I got to go here, and you're going to have to go there.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, right? So it's really, really nice.
We are so glad to have Ugly Tent as a sponsor to the show. My longtime friend Kenny Dietrich is a subject matter expert in modern survival, bushcrafting, and preparedness. As he challenges on the show, be prepared for the disaster most likely to happen to you. But let me tell you, Ugly Tent is so much more than just disaster preparedness. You need to check out the website at uglytent.com. That's UGLYTENT.com for a complete list of their products, their classes, and all the services that Kenny offers. There's a lot that I think you'll find interesting at uglytent.com. Again, just a neat place to go. So whether it's for camping, maybe it's a hike, maybe it's just trying to be in the outdoors for a little bit, uglytent.com is filled with the products and the services that you want. Not to mention you have a true expert as a resource for you. Listen, while you're there, use the promo code JUDE, that's lowercase JUDE, and that code will get you 10% off your total purchase. That's a pretty good deal for some really cool stuff. Anyway, check out Kenny at uglytent.com. That is super nice. It just feels like, and I only speak to my experiences, but sometimes I'll call it like a middle school cheerleading team. There's so much drama and freaking playing music. You're like, it's
true.
Yeah, it's like, come on now, just play your songs. And even if you suck, just play the song. Just embrace where you are.
That's right. Just know where you're at. I will say we try to practice at least go through starts and stops these days. We did have a few. We still have one song that's like the Achilles heel, and Carrie will laugh, but he cannot figure out how to stop the song by Merle Haggard, Working Man Blues.
Yeah.
We'll all turn around. I'm like, ready. And he shakes his head, hit the crash cymbal, and he goes, ah.
Carrie, you're counting to 4.
We just have to practice your ending. Everything else is good.
Just keep counting, buddy.
We can't stop without you. We stop and you keep playing. It looks bad on everybody, right? If you stop and we just kind of fade out, it's all right. We can probably live with that one. But the other way, you're the driver here.
You think of Merle Haggard. So I'm kind of late to the country scene and appreciating it, and even later to Merle Haggard. But you go back and you listen to his storytelling ability, and really what keyed in on was my brother trying to I'm going to learn bluegrass. I'm going to learn some of these other things that are playing. And so he would talk to me about the complexity of the different styles of playing. And then you look at a fellow like Merle Haggard, who's this incredible storytelling.
Yeah.
Music's not complicated, but man, the way that he gets from point A to point B, so to hear like an ending may be an issue, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because it's actually really easy. It makes it really hard.
Right.
That's what we've learned. It's played for years, but it's finally just strum the chord once and let it ring. And whatever sounds good in a song, that's why we'll switch parts, or, I won't sing this one because it didn't work out. It's whatever makes the song good. And then as you start playing more, you feed off each other. So, okay, we're all kind of getting quiet in this part, and we're going to build up in this part, and that really makes it fun.
Yeah, that's
the dynamics. Because one thing just to play, but it's nice when you can kind of just pull back. It kind of gets a little bit softer, then you can kind of feel it build.
Oh, yeah.
That's that dynamic.
It's the emotion.
Oh, you can just feel it coming. You're like, man, it feels good when you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, you played at the Grand Ole Opry. I've learned from your bio.
I did. This was back in my Chase the Nashville Dream thing. Yeah. So I was working with a dude named Nolan Capps. Nolan was a record producer and had a label called 21st Century Records. And so I had won one of the K93 contests here and done a few things, bounced around, thought, I played rhythm. Do you remember Robbie Wilkinson from Paris?
That name sounds familiar.
So he played all the time at Austin City, but from time to time he would not be available, and I get a phone call, hey, can you come and fill in for a night or two? Yeah, I'll come and play. So I met him, John Michael and Troy Lee and a bunch of the guys, Eddie and all those guys back in the younger days. And so when I was chasing this thing, I got a gig at Gillies. This was before they tore down Music Row. At the very top, where now there's that centerpiece, there's a hotel there, but there's a Mickey Gillies bar that sat there. So I went down there. I played there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 6 weeks.
Wow.
And so I was a young guy at Lexmark, just getting into my career. We hadn't had any kids yet. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go. So I talked to my boss. I need to leave Thursday at 2:00, but I'll make it up. I'll work the time, I'll make all see us. No problem. Chase it. Do your thing. Well, what ended up happening was I met Nolan. He took me to the Grand Ole Opry in the afternoon. It's an afternoon show. So I didn't get the full Opry experience, but to say that I got to stand in the circle, that's on my bucket list of items I've done. And I got to do that. And he also drugged me to the Ernest Tubb Record Shop on the weekend. So I got to do the Midnight Jamboree with all the old school black, jamboree guys. And it was cool. And it's a small place.
Yeah.
I mean, this record shop, it might be 30 feet wide, 40 feet long.
Yeah.
And the stage takes up 12 feet of it.
Yeah.
Right. So going in there and doing a couple of songs with those guys live at midnight on the Ernst Tubb Record Shop, I thought, oh my God, if life couldn't get any better for me, this was crazy.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's probably, 6 months after all this kind of started happening, right? Finished the Gillies, did the Grand Ole Opry, Ernest Tubb, had a phone call. And this is before cell phones. Didn't even have a pager. And it got to my office phone at Lexmark. It's because I passed out my office phone number. This guy goes, hey, man, I'm looking for Robert Eskridge. I'm like, this is him. Well, we listened to you play at Gillies, and we got a situation. I am on George Jones, his management team, and he was in a car accident. He's pretty beaten up, broke his hand, and he's got a shiner, and he's not going to be on the road, but we were ready to hit the road, and his band needs to stay tight. And we heard you doing a ton of old George Jones and Merle and Johnny Paycheck and Waylon and Willie. I was like, yes, I love old country. He goes, would you be interested in coming and playing with the George Jones Band? Probably for 4 to 6 weeks. Who put you up to call it? Who is this? Tell me, what's your real name?
I mean, it sounds like a prank call already.
It sounds like a prank call, right?
Yeah.
He goes, no, seriously. I said, give me your phone number. I'm going to call you back. Just give me your phone number. So I know the zip code is 615, area code is 615. So he says 1615. Oh, this may be serious. This might be real. So we don't have internet back then.
Right.
So I picked up the phone back, called him back. He answered the phone. I say, all right, I'll do it. But what's the deal? He goes, don't worry about it. We'll compensate you. We'll pay for your travel, blah, blah, blah. We need you here on Friday nights, Saturdays. He goes, we'll do a Sunday afternoon show at the Stockyard Bullpen Lounge. It's a pretty big place down in Nashville back in the day. And he goes, and then you can go home Sunday. And I walked in, Stan logged in. I don't remember Stan.
Yeah.
So I walked in and said, Stan, I need off again. He goes, are you kidding me right now? He goes, you just did like 6 things. I was like, this is George Jones Band. He goes, really? Yeah. I was like, I'm going to go down. So I went and played with them for almost a month.
Wow.
At the Stockyard and Bullpen Lounge. And so, in my career list of things, Grand Ole Opry,
Check.
It was a one-time off thing. Ernest Tubb Record Shop, Gillies at Music Row, Bluebird Cafe. Oh, the Stockyard George Jones Band. I never in a million years would have dreamt that.
Yeah, man. Who would have thought?
So I was thinking everything was turning, and then I got pregnant. Jesse,
Damn kids.
Jesse popped in, and I had to make a really tough decision because I was kind of splitting time, playing gigs here for $30 and $40 when I could play, and being a guy at Lexmark trying to start a career, and I needed to make sure that I had insurance and all the other stuff. So I basically put the dream on hold, started raising a family, and then Jared popped into the picture. And, a couple of years later, I'm like, before 2000s, where I thought I might be the next guy that did something big, I was growing a career at Lexmark and involved in my church with my kids, taking them, cheerleading, basketball, you name it. I did anything to try to keep them, involved and being involved in their lives. So I didn't start playing again for, I would say it was probably Jesse might have been 15 or 16 years old before I started playing again.
Well, that's why we didn't connect then.
Yeah.
So
I would get the occasional bass player phone call. Hey, man, our bass player's sick. Can you come and sit in on a Friday night, Saturday night? I could probably do that. But I didn't really play out that much till Sam and I started playing again.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense. I mean, for what it's worth, your kids are awesome. Always have been.
Oh,
right.
you.
Ever since.
And yours too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But that's probably why we didn't, because you'd moved into the family piece of it.
Family mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So, because I look back on it, it's like, that's almost impossible for people that, we know each other well enough to and we both love music. How do you not make that connection at some point?
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. But here you are. So,
So I didn't get to do any of those landmark things, but when we were at Lexmark, that's where we first met. They used to have a big kickoff the first of the year in Rupp Arena. So they had like 2 bands. They had bagpipes. They had acts. And you had half of Rupp Arena, and we played in the band. So we got to play Rupp Arena.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool. And they're union there. So you couldn't tune your own guitar. It just kind of showed up on the stage, and the point that you gave it, they give you your stuff, and you walk out and play. It was the weirdest thing.
Whose union? Rupp Arena? Or
yeah, the people that inside the arena for concerts, which this was, you're not allowed to carry your own equipment in.
So you're thinking about hiring a private investigator, huh? Think knowledge, experience, and trust. Think DPJ Consulting. Listen, we're the folks you want on your team. Whether it's a criminal matter, corporate, or administrative issue, or maybe something more personal, you need to make the right choice for you. Our house of expertise at DPJ Consulting can help you with investigations, and that could mean a whole lot of different things. Pre-employment background checks, personal VIP security, and so much more. Check us out at dpjconsulting.com. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, or give us a call at 855-TEAM-DPJ. That's 855-TEAM-DPJ. Give us a call. It costs nothing to talk. It costs you everything if we don't. Really?
I felt like a rock star.
Does that hold true today?
It does. Still does today.
And they even had the green M&Ms you requested back in the dressing room.
Yeah. That was a good one too, because after that, So I headed up these two bands and did the stuff at Lexmark because people knew I played all over the place, obviously, because I was leaving.
Right.
And I got a phone call from our HR people. And she goes, Robert, we've been trying to do this event down at Disneyland. And the bands down there are charging like $20,000 and $30,000 a week. She goes, do you think that you could put a band together? And could you just come down and play like 2 hours in the morning at this convention and do these skits and learn the stuff? And then in the evening time, just like an hour to 2 hours on the beach. Are you serious, Sharon?
Probably get there for like 19 and a half.
She goes, we've already cleared it with your people. We're not going to charge you vacation. We're going to give you an extra week of vacation and your band. She says, we'll put you up at the Grand Floridian, all your meals, your travel. We'll take care of your equipment. It'll just show up. I just need you to show up and play. I'm like, can we get park passes? You'll have park passes. I'll even get you a Mickey Mouse watch, which I still have. I mean, these things, I'm like, I don't know how I fell into some of this stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was awesome.
So what do you, I mean, I'm still back to Rupp Arena. I mean, you just tell the cats what you're tuned in, or?
Yeah, it was standard, right? So it showed up. I just remember that everything was set up, drum kit and everything. RLs, everybody's. We had two stage drums. So we play we were kind of a Southern rock country. And the other guys were more on a rock and roll kind of thrash kind of thing. Yeah. And so we would play a song or two, then they'd play a song or two. But I just remember I did the stage plot, give them the floor map, and then we showed up and everything was set up and amps were there and
that's awesome.
Mics, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
didn't have to carry anything.
7:30 in the morning, we kicked off, taking care of business.
That's right.
At 7:30?
Yeah. Oh, that was the money for nothing. Your ink's not free.
Yeah.
We did the Dire Straits spiff. CEO did not like that at all. We should have got that one cleared.
Ink's expensive.
Yeah, it was back in the day. That was the inkjet printer world. It was printer for nothing, but your ink's not free. That's
hilarious. Yeah. All right. So how'd you meet the rest of the band?
So Kerry, being from Paris,
yeah.
I went to Moorhead. He went to Moorhead to play baseball, football to cheerleader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I met Kerry in Moorhead. And then Kevin, his sister works at Lexmark. And so I knew Michelle really well. She was a hooper. I mean, she's like in the Hall of Fame at Transylvania.
Oh, wow.
She's good. And she goes, my brother plays guitar for somebody. And, he's been on the road with John Michael Montgomery. I'm like, what? She goes, Kevin Ross. Like, Kev? That's your brother? I've known Kevin for 25 years. She's like, really? I was like, yes. I never really connected the two. Total different.
How about that?
And so, back whenever I was not doing the band thing, I did a Southern gospel group. So I had a thing called Heaven's Joy. So I went and I did the studio album at Kevin's place, and we did it right there. Carol Stamper from Edward Jones downtown. She worked.
I think so.
Her and Alvin. So Carol was one of the singers in that. Her and Linda Courtney. So we traveled around for 7-8 years with just doing church stuff, Southern gospel things.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was good.
Man, truly a small world, because, if you look at the website and you look at where everybody's from, you think, well, I've just met these guys,
right,
whatever else. But, to the point of world-class people, you did meet them because they are local, but at the same time, they're also this superb talent.
They're great. And I tell you, and he won't take credit for it. Kevin's a good chicken picker. He's just one of those just pure country, just grabbers. When I first met Sam, I remember, because he came in as one of our electrical engineers and staff at Lexmark. And somebody said, well, he plays guitar. And I was like, I don't think he could turn the radio on. I don't think he did. And I went and saw him play, and I'm telling you what, I was shocked. He's like a Jekyll and Hyde. I've never seen anything like it. We do ZZ Top, and Julie and one of our buddies, Lance, they're like, Sam gets his goatee on, he's playing ZZ Top. He goes, they're all like, yeah, they go crazy. And we were playing in Moorhead, and this woman came up to Sam and she goes, damn, you're the sexiest man I've ever seen.
That's right.
And I told her, that's what my wife tells me too. I got out of that one.
Yeah, but man, talking about ripping the face off of it. I mean, he also plays in a kind of a bluegrassy band as well called Shanghai Express. And man, these guys are great. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's weird, to your point. You don't really know the different levels and skills, because I would say I play guitar. He's a guitar player.
Yeah.
It's a difference, right? I could, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a solid 6. You give me some lead guitar to play, he's going to be an 8 or 9 every time. Same with Kevin. You give me a bass guitar, I can keep time with the kick drum. I am not a fantastic lead guitar, but on bass, but you give me a bass, you need it played straight, I got you straight.
Yeah.
You give me a keyboard, I can give you your chords, a couple riffs. So I'm a little bit of multi-everything, but I'm not really could say I'm great at any of it. But it is a talent to sing and play bass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how you do
I'll
it.
tell you that.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of freaking practice.
I've never called myself a musician, still won't, because I just don't think I'm a musician. I'm just a guy that's played bass and some songs,
right.
So I'm there with you. But yeah, the melody or whatever it is that the bass is keeping, it's completely
important.
different.
It's important. But sometimes the vocals are on the right side and the bass is on the left side of my head. And I can't, like the simplest of song, Neon Moon. Old Brooks and Dunn song.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing ever. It took me like a month, almost every day, sitting down and learning and training my brain to not sing the vocals the way that the bass goes and vice versa. Because sometimes I'll get off timing and the bass goes with the vocals and it sounds bad. It's wrong.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I do, I'm like, I know it's wrong. So I practiced that for a month. I finally came back in with the band and said, okay, I think I got it this time. So I don't want to waste their time. So I'll go and practice it on my own, come in. Oh, this sounds good. So now we added it back to the set list, but it's hard.
Yeah. 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 Without a doubt. Yeah. Well, let's talk about this album, Heroes at Home.
Yeah.
So it's been,
I brought a couple for you guys.
yeah, awesome. Awesome.
And I'll bring you a couple of shirts too. I got a couple of different ones.
Yeah. We got to build the wall up. Yeah. Thank you.
Here's a couple from the very first one.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Thank you. So this is the latest album, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a fresh one. I released that in I think it's late November of 2021. Yeah. The first single of that went out in the summer of that. Yeah. It was good.
I think it's an awesome album.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. 'Cause when you first put it out, you did a thing like, tell me what song
Yeah.
you like the best on
That's
it.
right.
Yeah. And my choice then was The Wolves.
Oh, that's a good story.
The song, you mean? Yeah. Say it, man. Let's hear it.
So that's not my song. So there's only one song that I have either co-written or written in all the songs that I've done. This song was on Garth Brooks' first album, The Wolves. And so there's a lady, I'm going to go blank on her name, but she wrote this song and it never made it to any of Garth's cuts. It was only made the album. So I Googled her up and I was in the studio doing the stuff and I said, that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And I think it tells a beautiful story. It's
Yeah.
really it's a sad story, number one, but it's a cool story nonetheless. But I called her and their agent called me back and said, she would love for you to cut that song. I said, well, what would be the fee? I mean, I know it's typical. She goes, send her $150. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
She goes, no, she's flattered. Just send her $150. That'd be great. Just write me a check and it's good. So I sent her $150. When I went to the studio, I took this guitar and I didn't have anything backing it up. One mic. I did it 3 times and I took the best of the 3 and I did that's it. So it was just kind of a live version of kind of what it would sound like if I were playing. I just love that song.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
Yeah. I remember you sent me something on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat. So the neat part is we're going on almost 3 years of this album, but you're still putting out releases off this thing.
You know what we found out, and Sam and I talk about this quite often because we're working on our 3rd album right now. So it'll come out hopefully November, December. All the songs are written. Now we just got to get in the studio and learn them note for note and lay them down, right? But what I've discovered is back in the old days when I'm walking through Nashville with a folder, with cassette tapes, and a bio sheet.
Yeah.
Now I'm sending EPKs and releasing this and that. But, you can reach a significant amount of people just through digital platforms if you have the right launch, right? So it's very difficult to get it right. But we're doing pretty good. For example, my first single, that Buck Wild and Whiskey Crazy off the Simple Things album.
Yeah.
I woke up one morning, I had almost 20 grand in my bank account from downloads from Germany. It was a freaking thing. I made it big in Germany. We're like the David Hasselhoff of country music in Germany.
Yes.
It's crazy. I mean, I make a ton of money in Europe, and you don't really think about that. And I never did it for the money anyway, so I don't care. But we laugh about it. I mean, it bought me a really nice car.
Yeah.
Bought me a really nice boat, and they're both named Buck Wild and Whiskey Crazy.
Yeah, as it should be.
No kidding, man. So, I mean, you start doing this enough, you start getting the recipe right. But we have a promoter in Nashville. And so James was on the road with George Strait for a long time. And so he decided he didn't want to do the road anymore. He started a promotion company. And so he's been doing this for 35, 40 years. So he takes a select number of artists and then he listens to the music. And James will be the guy who goes, yeah, I know you like that song, but I wouldn't do that one. I wouldn't put that on the album. Because I've had songs written and I said it, he goes, I don't think that's a good one. I wouldn't do it.
How do you trust that? I mean, where do you get to the point of saying, well, James said so, then that's the way it is?
Well, because he's connected with some of the biggest acts in the industry. When these cats want something to go, they call James.
Yeah.
So he's that he's been around. He's an industry just vet, and he knows. He hears 18 gazillion songs a week.
Yeah.
So he cherry picks the ones he thinks, and he kind of latched on to me, and he's been really helpful because, I'll get these crazy calls. Sam will laugh. SSM Nashville. God, we want you to come down. If you'll do this, and if you only pay us $20,000, we'll do that. Sam's like, is that like a trick? I say, I don't know, Sam. It's these guys. So I call him up. I go down to Nashville a lot anyway. So I go and visit them. Yeah, these guys are not the real deal. But it did get me a slot to go do something at CRS, which is Country Radio Seminar. So I did get to do that, which was cool. And out of that whole thing, when I'm humping with some of these different people that called, I got to be a CMA Fest artist, 2022. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting, Julie, she was in the green room at the CMAs, right? So we're sitting there, and she goes, I can use the restroom. She goes to the bathroom. She comes back. She goes, I just met the sweetest girl. I'm like, really? She goes, it was so funny. She goes, I come out of the restroom. She goes, and I'm washing my hands, and she's in there. She's patting her armpits. She's sweating like crazy, makeup running. She's got her cowgirl hat on. She goes, honey, she goes, you look like you're hot. She goes, oh God, she goes, I'm going crazy. She goes, it's hot out there. She goes, I got to go downstairs. I got to do another thing at 3:00. She goes, well, my name's Julie. She goes, honey, my name's Lainey. I'm like, she comes in the green room. I said, that's Lainey Wilson. And she's like on the bubble. She's like right there getting ready to make poof. Right. That was a catapult for her. 2 months later, she's off to the races. Right.
Yeah.
But again, she's been in Nashville 12 years.
Yeah.
Sleeping in a camper.
Yeah. No overnight success there.
That didn't happen just because, right?
Right.
People put a lot of time and energy into this stuff. But when we do this, coming back to your question, these songs run for 20 weeks. And if radio is still playing, like the song that we released 5 months ago, When Life Happens, we'll get to that one today.
Yeah.
That song is still number 10 on the national radio charts. It plays like 5,000 times a week on radio.
Does it really?
Yeah. I think it's number 10 this week. I'll tell you real quick. But yeah, when I start seeing those numbers, I'm like, that's crazy to me. So, and I don't care about labels and all this other stuff. Only thing I care about is who spins my songs.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't care if it's big market, small market, medium market, nobody's market. How many songs does that song get played? And When Life Happens, yeah, it's still number 10 this week on the national radio chart. It's just below Chase Matthews and just above Megan Maroney, Kelsey Ballerini, Dylan Carmichael. I mean, it's crazy to me. I look at these charts and, there's Hardy at number 1 and I'm sitting at like number 10. And it's just like the 26th week. So
wow.
The reason I don't release them very often is I usually put what I think are 4 or 5 radio-ready cuts.
Right.
And I wouldn't be ashamed to put any of them out, to be honest. But James will go, I'll send him 3. I said, I'm going to put another one out. This is my 3. What do you think? So we went through it back and forth, and Better Way was the one that we selected. But Better Way is the most added country song on country radio right now.
Yeah.
And here I got Heroes of Home at number 10. As an independent guy, that doesn't happen very often. Because as soon as I release a song, typically, they drop the one that's already there.
Right.
Because they only have X number of slots on their program.
Right.
So I've kind of earned for the last 5 or 6 years that we put out enough good material that when I put out 2, I thought was going to drop. It stayed. This is the first time that's ever happened.
Which is saying that the radio stations or whomever are still playing those songs.
Still playing it. Yeah.
And so do they have a what am I trying to say? Supply and demand gauge?
Oh yeah.
To say, hey, this one's still hitting for us?
What you'll see is you can look at the statistics. You probably have access to a lot of stuff. I can get you a report from James that shows you. But you look at all the majors, everybody's going to spin your majors. That's why you hear Jelly Roll 18,000 times a day and Morgan Wallen 18,000 times a day. So they're going to do all their major pieces, but there's only a certain number of slots that they have for new music.
Yeah, right.
So when mine comes out, typically when mine goes in, they drop whatever. I don't care where it's at. They'll drop wherever it's at, and they don't play it on their national spin stuff where they report. they only then pick up after he gets X number of pieces.
So, and you're releasing every, what'd you say, 3-4 months?
Yeah, about
like
every 4 to 5 months. And if you don't do it every 4 to 5 months, then they forget who you are.
Right. So you have
relevant.
content coming.
Yeah.
But your 2 previous have stayed on the charts now. I mean,
They did.
At that math, you're approaching a year, those songs being close to a year.
Yeah.
Being on the charts.
Yeah. And I still get my royalty stuff for like Takes, and I Can't Win for Losing You was my first #1 single on like small, medium market stuff. And it's a killer song.
Yeah, it is.
Buck Wild Whiskey Crazy, our first #1 indie stuff. The song You're My Destiny was #1 in Canada, #1 in Europe. So you start adding all these little streams up, and it sounds crazy, but at 0.003 cents, they turn into dollars, and dollars turn into $100 bills. And before you know it, you made 50 or 60 grand. And if I can do that and cover the cost of this and do what I love to do, we can go have some fun
all day long.
I don't care about anything else. And I really get a charge when I get the reports every week. And I look, I'm like, well, hell, look at that. Better Way is above Beyonce. Are you kidding me?
I saw that, yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have ever thought that stuff? I mean, when you see your name on charts, to me as a musician, I always thought that I was a decent songwriter. So
Right.
I always thought, whenever I gave up music for a while, I thought, man, what if I would have just kept at it? What would have ever happened?
Yeah.
Would I ever would have made it? Would I ever had a chance to make it on radio? 20 years later, yeah, I think I probably would have been all right.
So how do those plays translate into whatever I'm trying to say here, a level of success or a tour or an opening opportunity for, I don't, on a circuit or something? How does that translate?
Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, right? So even though you're right there, and we laugh, the #1 added song in country radio. So I'm looking at the report, which I know Warner Brothers, MGA, every record label producer guy's looking at all those same reports. Somebody's going, who in the hell is Robert Eskridge and Southern Daze?
Right.
These guys been around like a bad play. They've been around for 5 or 6 years.
They'd have to be saying that.
Right. So they do. So we get phone calls like, hey, I saw your name on the charts. Who are you? So I'll field the call because my number's on there.
Yeah.
And I'll come back and tell these guys, you're not going to believe, got a call from such and such place today. The big one was the Reliant Records, the Reliant Talent Agency, because they have some cool guys on their acts. But, we have decided that we all had good day jobs. Kerry had not been retired yet.
Right.
Kevin, he's a full-time general contractor. He builds all the time. I got a full-time gig. Sam has a full-time gig. Even though some of those opportunities have kind of come, we're like, I'm not interested to go ride a tour bus. I'm not doing that. So we've kind of made pick Lexington. If you're within a 2 or 3 hour radius, this is our fee. If you're outside of that 5 hours, this is our fee. And so we'll play some smaller festivals. We'll do like Uncorked, and they pay us a few grand, and that's for us. That's huge money.
Yeah.
When you're playing for free, I play for free. I would play for free all the time.
Yeah.
And he would too. And Kevin would too. Kerry would too. And it's like we make $150. I'm like, dude, we made $150 a piece.
We can eat.
I get a good bottle of scotch.
Yeah. So we're at the point now. Sam's going to retire. I call myself semi-retired because I'm pretty flexible. Kevin now has a crew of guys that he can trust. So we kind of said, we get this thing bubbled up. I get this thing together with Reliant or some other booking agency. I wouldn't be opposed to doing a leave on a Thursday, come back on a Sunday. Robert doesn't want to be gone for 6 weeks or 8 weeks at a time. I'm just not that guy.
Sleeping on a bunk. Yeah.
Not doing it. Yeah. And it would be fun, but I would love. So I played for probably, 5,000 or 6,000 people at a given show at different places, right? I would love for Sam and Kerry, when you walk out and you look, it's like, holy crap. Because it's a little bit daunting, right? You get some butterflies.
Yeah.
First time I did, I was like, I got to sing on key here. This is serious. This is like serious. So I would love for us to do that. When we played, like I said, probably the Maysville show that one time, it's probably 3,000 people.
Yep.
I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
So, but to be into a concert area, whenever the kick drum hits, you go, poof, poof.
Yeah.
And you can hear it, and the bass hits you, boom, boom, and the guitars are screaming, and people have got their phones out. That's badass.
let's talk a minute about sex. Sex is part of life. It's beautiful and it's essential to living a great life. Enter my friends at Shameless Care, who have created something cool for your personal health care. Shameless Care offers a variety of products you may be interested in. ED treatments, STI treatments, STD testing. So how does it work? Well, that's the easy part. You go to shamelesscare.com, you choose the product you're interested in, you complete an online questionnaire, which is reviewed by a medical doctor, by the way. Pay for the product, and in a couple of days, discreet packaging arrives right to your doorstep. Their customer service is second to none. They're always responsive, and they care. Listen, Ashley's the best. Tell her I said hello. They're a small business ran by people like you and me, and they're incredible. And the best part? We can save you some money. Click on the link in the show notes. Use the code JUDE at checkout. It's JUDE. And save $30 on your first purchase. That's not bad, huh? Visit our website to learn more. Shamelesscare.com. And don't forget the promo code JUDE. Do your best to explain the energy that a crowd gives you. How would you put that into words? What does that feel like?
Answer that, Sam, because I'm always telling you to get up there.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that because I had a moment at church Sunday. It was like that. The other band I played with we played Sandy Hook artist.
Okay.
Keith Whitley. But you get there, whether it's a heart-wrenching song or a rock song, there's just an energy in the crowd in the room, and you all get it together and you all know. Yeah. And it just, it just feels great, and everybody's on that same wavelength.
Now, I've never been to where you all have been playing it, right? But I felt that energy that comes from the crowd. There's a tangible thing. Yeah. And so if I go to concerts now, what I'm looking for is
you want to feel it.
I want to feel how that artist is connecting with this crowd. And it's this thing, you can't see it or whatever, but it's just so tangible that it's there.
Right. So one example we do out of every job he does, Ain't No Sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's always a little different, but there's a couple nights we played that. And he had the groove right, and the audience got it. It was, and the other one we played down at the Harrington Lake, and we did Exile, Kiss You All Over.
All over.
Yeah.
And the whole place was like, I thought they were all going to go off and make out.
Tidal wave. People with this is a floating deck, right? So you're out there dancing, and they're dancing, and you're playing, and you're just rocking because the stage is on water.
Yeah.
And so they're just pumping it, man. Water sloshing up in between them. Like, my God, this was awesome.
Of all songs.
Who would have ever thought?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's a great song. I'm not taking away from the song.
Still, but yeah, that's it. So I would say too, because Kevin's very theatrical when he plays. He'll throw his head down, his head's back.
Yeah.
He's like gritting his teeth. Sam will just kind of step up, and even though there's smoke coming off his fingertips, you look at him, he's just like reading a book, like no big deal. I'm like, Sam, get up there. So now he's like getting down.
Yeah. Come on, Sam.
Man, get on there. Come on. These guys are wanting you. Like, come on.
Might have to get me some leopard skin tights.
Yeah. I'll order them for you, man. That'll be my contribution.
But I will tell you, if you're playing out, regardless of what you're doing, if you hit a song and people are into it, it does give you an energy. It actually, I would say we probably play the same for one as we would 1,000.
Sure, of course.
Right? Because that's the way we are. We want to do it. We do it. Just do it the absolute best you can do it every time.
Yeah.
But there is an element of, if you've got 500 people in a place and you got 50 or 60 people out there dancing and hooping it up and pumping it up. We played the McDazzle.
Oh, yeah.
We were their band for the Ronald McDonald House this last year in Keeneland. And there's probably 2,000 or 3,000 people there. And when they flowed out, we hit a little Already Gone, I think.
Yep.
People were like stopping in their tracks. Like, holy crap. They brought in a company, put in like a $50,000 or $60,000 PA system. We had a sound guy, lights were everywhere. And next thing you know, like place was flooded and everybody's coming out, getting drinks and high-fiving. And the guy that runs the Ronald McDonald, he's, man, because this is the most we've ever had people donate after the show. We would never have this many people even after. This year, they're at the Central Back Pavilion. They called them, you guys are still good, right? From November, we will make sure that you're there. Everybody's asking already. I'm like, when people are dancing, they're like, can I get you a drink? And where? It's awesome. Yeah. It does make you feel good. Yeah. It does give you a level of energy, so to speak.
Yeah, there's a cool piece to it.
It really
I wanted to hear you explain it. Well, how about we hear a song?
Sure.
You guys ready to play one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Play what you want, but I was thinking your newest release.
Yeah, Better Way.
You want to do that?
Yeah. I tell you, that song kind of came about. I'll give you a real quick story. So we have a cabin still at Moorhead, right there. I went to school there because I like to hike, I like to hunt, I like to fish. Beautiful lake there. So I was sitting there one weekend, deep into my bourbon bottle, and we were talking. And I said, there's got to be a better way for this, this, and this. And I took out my pen pad, and this one I wrote. And there's probably a couple that I've written that you go through my notebook. There's hardly a scratch in it. Wrote this thing in like 20 minutes. The big contention in the song was around the LGBTQ piece, because we got some people in our family that are struggling with their sexuality, so to speak.
Sure.
So it was a big debate. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care about skin color. I don't care about religion. I don't care about genre. I don't care about anything other than if you treat me nice, I'll treat you nice. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people. It costs you zero.
Yeah.
I don't get caught up in political horse crap, but it doesn't cost you anything to be nice. So just be nice to people. It's very easy. That was 2 rules in our house when my kids grew up. You can respect and be nice to everybody, and you'll do your best. Anything else doesn't matter to me. Those are 2 things that if you can manage that, your kids will turn out all right. Yeah. I believe that.
That's right.
Better way. So I always believe there's got to be a better way. I grew up hard and I grew up mean. Can't believe the things I've seen. Been on my own for a long, long time. I bounced around from here to there. Even caught some people stare. They thought I was trouble, you could see in their eyes. Little country, a whole lot red. Can't believe what the people said. Just doing my best to do what's right. Back roads and fishing holes. Get his ice down with something cold. It's Friday at 5. The weekend's gonna be mine. Working 40-hour weekend, he can't sleep. Breaking my back, trying to make ends meet. Honest pay to win a job I hate. But it pays the bills, helps my kids along. Weekend's here, another week is gone. Live to see another day. Yeah, things have gotta change. There's gotta be a better way. Nobody said that life is fair. Standing tall, I got no cares. Well, it ain't gray, it's black and white. Why can't we appreciate it? The same hill ain't that great. Don't you know it makes the world go round? So grab your neighbor's hand, don't let go. Time to let those feelings show. Peace, happiness, justice for all. Skin color shouldn't bother you. An acronym LGBTQ. Hey, I was taught that kindness is free. Working 40-hour weekend, he can't sleep. Breaking my back, trying to make ends meet. The honest pay to win a job I hate. But it pays the bills, helps my kids along. Weekend's here, another week is gone. And I'll live to see another day. Yeah, things have gotta change. There's gotta be a better way. I work a 40-hour weekend, he can't sleep. Breaking my back, trying to make ends meet. Honest pay to win a job I hate. But it pays the bills, helps my kids along. Weekend's here, another week is gone. And I'll live to see another day. Yeah, things have gotta change. There's gotta be a better way. Yeah, things that gotta change. There's gotta be a better way. A better way. I like that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Thanks.
That's a great tune. That's great right here to hear that.
Yeah, I tell you, I love. Sometimes, Sam, we used to play Spindletop all the time and just kind of go and do like duos and just play out and about. But again, between work and late times, like, when do you have time to do it?
Yeah, we used to do that at Henry Clay's with Carrie'd get the cajon. And we get an acoustic. We kind of start out the first set a little softer. And,
Yeah. No, that's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to hear it right here. Sam getting his fingers warmed up.
That's right. I tell you, it was fun. We were
The
playing
magic's about to come through.
We were playing Henry Clay's. This is a funny story. And I was playing bass. And we had Johnny Boardman from Paris. If you ever heard Johnny,
I know the name.
He's phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, crazy guitarist. But anyways, we're playing it, and girl goes. She came up. She's pretty liquored up. She goes, looked at me real funny. And the Henry Clay stage is like 4 foot up. And she's looking up. She goes, "I got $20. You know any Prince songs?" I love Prince. As a guitar guy, he's a great guitarist.
Yeah.
Like Sam, I said, hold up here.
We got $20 on the table.
$20 is on the table. Says he's challenged some Prince songs. I said, what all do we know? We went to this. I was like, Purple Rain. All right, so we did one of the best redneck Southern rock versions of Purple Rain ever. And her mouth was like, I can't believe you know Prince. I'm like, girl, I know a ton of Prince songs. What are you talking about?
How do you not know Prince?
Yeah, right. This is great. It was fun. We got to do that one. So that's like the Silver Eagle down at Renfrew Valley. We play there maybe once a quarter. That's like their mantra. If you can't play Purple Rain in that place, the band's for crap. If you play Purple Rain,
you got
they
it.
think that you should be on the road somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. It's funny.
It's a staple, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
For certain folks.
Could be a time killer. I mean, Prince played it like 17 minutes at a time.
But it's still one of the best Super Bowl halftime shows
It
I've
is
ever seen.
the best Super Bowl halftime.
No doubt. And it rained.
And it rained.
Cranking it.
Yeah.
Weird guitar he had.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot his quote. He said something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the best. Let's talk about your writing process. So I'm not a big lyrics guy. I mean, even the songs I grew up on, I hardly knew any lyrics to it. I just catch the melodies and the music, right? And not because you're sitting here, but just because we've exchanged back and forth on Facebook and stuff.
Right.
So I've listened to some of your lyrics. Couldn't quote them to you. But I look at your songs and say, those are actually some pretty good lyrics. There's some depth to it, and maybe it's me coming from a heavy metal rock background or just screaming and who knows what you're saying you're actually telling a story. But to the point of the question, what is your writing process? How do you create a song?
They come in different ways. Sometimes it's an idea. I have probably 100 sticky notes in my music folder, and I'll start on one and I'll get a little riff in my head. We'll write 4 bars and put a sticky note to it, and I'll come back to it later. In some cases, they just flow out like easy. For example, the Buck Wild and Whiskey Crazy song, the first single we ever released, it came because we were going skiing in Snowshoe. My uncle has a cabin off of 79 right there on the way up. And Jared goes from the back of the car, man, I want to go to Uncle Nathan's house. I want to go kill a deer. I'm like, well, yeah, but they don't really go up there to hunt. They go up there to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
He goes, what? I said, yeah, they're kind of cheater hunters. They have cameras. And when the camera sees an animal, it takes a picture, sends it to his iPhone, and my uncle's sitting in the cabin drinking, going, yeah, it's a little too small. Until it comes up to the, okay, boys, we got to go back to this, this on this marker. Let's go. And then they come back with this big ass buck.
Yeah.
Like, that's cheating hunting. Said, so they don't go up there to do that. I said, they go up there, they get Buck Wild and Whiskey Crazy. I said, Julie, get my phone. Type in my phone, Buck Wild and Whiskey Crazy. We went skiing. I came back. I wrote the song in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a killer song.
It is a killer song.
Yeah, so that's how that one kind of happened. And then there's some like takes for the kids. You get something in my brain and I just can't let it go. I tell you, it was probably maybe a year ago. I got delayed coming back from Asia. I was stuck in Korea. And I like to read. I'm an avid reader. And so lady goes, I can't get you home for like 3 days. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, nowhere? I got it at Lexington. You can't get me to like Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, any place I can just get a connection the next day. No, it's really clogged up. Yeah, we had a lot of cancellations, and I'm sorry. I'm like, where can you get me anywhere? She goes, I can get you to Honolulu. She goes, would you like to do this? I said, book it.
Yeah.
So I called Julie. I said, babe, and I said, what are you doing this week? She says, I just got a couple of things. I said, can you work remotely? She goes, I could. I said, check your email. I said, go pack your bag. I said, you're going to come and stay with me in Waikiki Beach for a week. And Sam laughs because that was our layover spot. Whenever we go to Asia, we'd stop in Waikiki on the way back, go to the beach for the day, get a sandwich, a beer, get some sun, and get on the plane, take the red eye home. So you can save money. But anyways, I'm sitting on this beach and I'm watching the sun go down, and this picture popped up, just from that trip, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I'm reading this book, and this dude's like, so why is it? I was like one of these jacked up special armed forces guys. Like, why is it that she's so important to you? And the guy goes, this isn't a book. He goes, oh man, she makes me a better man. I thought, that's a good title for a song. So I sat there on this beach and I thought, better man. Well, she does make me a better man. She makes me this. She makes me a better dad. She makes me better that, better this. So I sat there and I wrote this song called Better Man in like 10 minutes on my iPhone. And it's still in there. We haven't put that to the pencil yet, to the studio, but that'll be on the next album.
Yeah.
But that's how those songs kind of come. And I'll just kind of think of something and just start writing it down.
So you find the lyrics come to you, and then you'll assign a melody or riffs to it?
Sometimes I get a funky lick, right?
Yeah.
And Sam's not heard this song, but I wrote this song called Natural Attraction. It's kind of a duet song. If I can get a Lainey Wilson to do with me, I'll invite you to the CMAs next year.
Yes.
But I came up with this little, right?
Yeah.
It's just a simple, just easy.
Yeah.
And I just went with that, and I said, Natural Attraction came out of that song. And so it's kind of a funky, bluesy, country thing, and these guys will tear it up, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a good song. I just got to find a duet partner.
Maybe she'll listen. I hope she does.
Yeah.
Right. So now you'll get an idea and a concept. Do you create the whole song and then bring it to the band, or how does that work with Southern Daze?
So it's a little bit different. So these days, bands typically don't do their own writing, right? They'll usually write the song, then it goes off to a studio somewhere, it comes back ready, and then your band then learns that and they take it out on the road. The first two albums, so Sam played on the first album. The second one, This Hero's at Home, I found a guy that was Brantley Gilbert's producer down in Covington, Georgia. And I would write the song, and then I'd record it on my little Tascam in my studio, send it down, give him the tempo. This is what I hear. I hear mandolin, I hear banjo, I hear steel guitar, and I want a really old 90s country piano on this one.
Yeah.
The next one, hey, I don't want any steel guitar. I want just rip your face off, give me some really strong telly strat licks and just pump me up. So I'll send these things down, and they come back in little formats. And he goes, what do you think? Well, change this. This isn't right. I need you to go this, this, this. And it comes back, and I got the track, and then we sit down and we learn the track. So it's been an interesting way to write. And that was during the COVID time as well. But the first time we went down, Sam and I had a cool experience. We were at the Country Q, which is down in Franklin, Tennessee. You walk in, and there's George Strait, with his,
gold records on the wall.
Gold records, and Randy Travis, Miranda Lambert, and all this Trick Pony, all these, it's crazy. So you walk in, you're like, wow, this is cool. This is pretty magical. And we played with Mike Rojas, was like CMA keyboardist of the year. He plays on the road with Garth Brooks and some of these other guys. Dave Pomeroy played bass. I don't know if you know Pomeroy. He's the big spokesperson for GLS Strings.
Okay.
GS Strings. Dave's a studio, he's been the bass player of the decade for the last 4 decades. Dude, he walks in, Dave, sets his bass on a stand, and he just walks up. He don't even hold it. It's like effortless. It's crazy. And then we had this dude named Pat Buchanan.
Guitarist.
That's your buddy.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have an amp. He's plugged into a little box.
Yeah.
And he played with Cameo, Cyndi Lauper. He's in the Grand Ole Opry Hall of Fame. He's backs up all these session players in Nashville. And you're thinking to yourself, how's this going to work? So you go down, you got all the songs. I sent him down to this guy named Mike Bonagura, who's a friend of mine. He's actually in him and his wife were like CMA Gold,
Bailey and the
Boys back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
His best friend's Vince Gill. So we were sitting there, and I called Mike. Mike, I'm going to do this album. He goes, no problem. Let me get you some studio players. So we go down, and Mike is the keyboardist. The drummer's there, and they're all sitting. He goes, kind of play us a little bit of the song. What do you think? And he goes, yep, I hear. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit that. He goes, you know what? We need to do like an 80s turn. That was Pat. He's really the guitarist. He goes, we need to do an 80s turn down. Just turn this thing down right here, man. I can hear. So yeah, I hit a lick. He goes, Mike, you got that? And Mike, he's just charting it with Nashville numbers, 1, 1, 4, 5. Next thing you know, okay. And I go into a private room. Sam's in a room with Julie. And then these guys go to the room. Next thing I know, 2 takes later, I got a #1 record.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. They did 6 songs the first time.
Yeah.
In like 2 hours. Complete, mixed and done. And they would come out of the studio. Mike would go, you know what? I need you to go back to the 3rd bar of this time, around the 2-minute time frame. I think I missed something. I want to add this in there. And Pat go, yeah, I'm going to go back and I'm going to throw a lick in here, but I'm going to turn. I'm going to do it this way. And the drummer's just, whatever you need, he's done. We did it one time.
Wow.
One time. I had never seen anything like it.
The only thing I can relate to is watching, was it Muscle Shoals on Netflix?
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking, man, Motown was written by these session players in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. It's freaking amazing what the talent that's there.
It is. I tell you though, Dave, the thing that really I love about the process that I put in place, and I'm sure other people don't do it this way. I will work on my vocals and all my stuff to where every time the Heroes at Home album, I did all 11 songs in 3 hours.
Wow.
The guys, Rhett and George, the drummer, and John Johnson, the owner, he goes, Robert, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. He goes, we'll have guys come in here and do a song and be here for 2 days.
Yeah.
Like 8-hour sessions. He goes, you're like almost pitched every time. He goes, and you came in prepared. He goes, that's a testament of people that want to be budget conscious. You're not spending that much money on studio time, X number of dollars an hour. He goes, you knocked out a whole album in 3 hours. Yeah. And that's what Heroes at Home was. There's not a song on there that I did more than 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was cool. I took my mom down with me on that one. That was fun. But Sam saw this whole process with these other guys, and we went to Mike's studio. You walk into his house, there's Vince Gill's picture with his family at Thanksgiving and a few other famous people. And it's like, yeah, that's Vince. Hey, he just left the road. Lee Greenwood's up here. Got this guy up there. Tim McGraw's 2 miles that way. Yeah, it was a cool community. Here, we get in the studio. Let's do it. And it was cool because on Buck Wild, I had this vision of, man, this is a party song. I need people like hooping it up at the end. So me, Sam, and Julie got at the very end, and we're like, yeah, woo, yeah, come on. So we did that like 8 times, and we just blend it, channel over channel, and it sounds like it's a whole bar full.
Yeah.
It's just the 3 of us. Yeah. It was cool.
But I guess if you know that's the process, then you can focus on stuff like just your vocals. Just focus on what you're going to control, because the session players aren't going to sing your songs.
No.
But you don't have to worry about everything else that goes into it.
But Robert can convey the idea of the song, so these guys that are doing studio all the time, they get it.
Yeah.
And it probably doesn't take them too long to do it either.
No, it's really interesting.
Huh. Yeah.
I want to see if I had a example of one of these that I see.
And we're not the Rolling Stones in the south of France spending 6 months to do an album.
That sounds like a press release, right? They want to tell the story of how much they invested into it. Yeah.
Well, that's so this was the start of the album that I sent down. See, I got a new track that came in. This will be on the new album. Let you listen to this. But this stuff turns out so good. So when I send the stuff down, I write them. So I wrote a song called Who I Am. It's about where I grew up in Eastern Kentucky. I'm a Pike County rat. And so this song kind of came out and basically tells a story of my great grandfather. It's actually my grandmother, my mama. She was a moonshine distiller. And so all those people, I mean, I'm the Hatfield McCoy lineage, right? My great uncle is Devil Lance Hatfield.
Oh, yeah.
And so that whole area, McCarr and Matewan and all that stuff, I was running around that, picking pawpaws. My mom always get tired of me because I wouldn't go pick blackberries. There's snakes around blackberry bushes. Let me tell you that. You do not want to go near that. But so I wrote that song, and I'm going to let you listen to it. It turned out swampy, but where's my new songs to write folder? I don't think that's it.
That's interesting about a good song because, it could be one person acoustic guitar, but these guys will hear it.
It'll kind of turn out like that. So I send down acoustic bass and what I think I want on a telly.
And that's what they can sit back?
That's what they send back.
Yeah.
And so when Kevin and I talk about this, I mean, we could do this in the studio and we could lay it down. I got confidence, these guys, and we're going to do the third album the way we're doing it. About half of the songs would be studio from Brantley Gilbert's producer, and the other half would be us.
Yeah.
But Kevin's like, Robert, he goes, what do you pay for a track like that? I said, you're not going to believe it. He goes, humor me. I send down custom tracks, and it comes back to me for $350.
Wow.
He said, you couldn't do that
No.
in the studio for that. He goes, that's like radio ready track. I said, but when I'm doing tons of songs with these guys, they give me like a fan. Usually it's $500. So you do a whole album.
Still even for $500.
I did a whole album for $3,500. An entire album.
Wow.
So yeah, when I can go do a whole album for $3,500 and I can make, $5,000 on streaming in a year, it pays for that. It pays for some travel, and anything else is gravy to me. And I've not, in none of the stuff that we've released, I've not been out of pocket, not a dime since we've kind of released it. I pay you the upfront, but I probably made, and I'm not bragging, so don't.
No, I don't take that.
I probably made $70,000 or $80,000.
So my mind is blown.
Away.
I'm fascinated suddenly, and there's 1,000 questions that are trying to come out, and not one of them are coming out at the moment. So I'm just staring at you in this blankness that you're paying $350, $500 for that.
Yeah.
When I hear it, I'm thinking you all need to retire.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, these guys are great. I mean, this kid down there can flat out play the mandolin, the banjo, the dobro,
Yeah.
and the steel guitar. And you give him a telly, he'll melt it. And then the other dude plays bass, acoustic, and any type of guitar leads. He plays on the Grand Ole Opry all the time. Daniel does. And John Johnson, he was a keyboard player and session player in Nashville for years. And now he's a leader, worship leader at church. And this is his business. It's called Tune Designer. These guys are off the hook crazy. They do worship tracks, country, rock. You got a song, you send them down the idea. And I stumbled across him at the Josies. We've been nominated for some independent stuff. Met him at the Josies Awards several years ago. And I said, John, let me just give this a try. I sent him down stuff. I was like, how much do you charge? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's like $450, $500 for a custom thing. We could do for you. I'm like, what if I did a whole album? Because I did a couple of songs. Well, I'll give you a good deal then. So I've sent him stuff down there. He's freaking fantastic and the nicest guy. And whenever he comes back, I'm like, I don't like the way that lick came through. And this is my feeble attempt. I'll get my telly out, plug it in. I'm like, I hear something like, right? Because Carrie laughs at me because I'm like, Carrie, give me a. He goes, I don't know how to do that, Robert. You need to be a little bit more specific. But Daniel, when I send down my kindergarten telly lick, it comes back like a paid professional, just rip its face off kind of lick. And Kevin will laugh because we'll be practicing. He goes, well, how do you do that? So when I sent it down, it went like, he goes, yeah, I know how you sent it down. I need to learn it the way he sent it back. He said, I need to see how he did that. Yeah. Sam will sit and he'll learn it note for note. Kevin's more of he's the winger. He'll get it close enough.
But that's interesting too, because we've all played for years. Back in high school days, the band I played, we would practice. We learned this song just exactly like the record. And we were convinced. And then like 30 years later, was it 100.1's playing all my old songs? We didn't play it like that.
Yeah. I've been good at learning it as it's supposed to be. And then as I get older, I thought I'm not even going to try to learn what it's supposed to be. You're going to get my version of it.
Well, that's kind of what we do. We do some good covers. I mean, I tell you, our version, I might put Ain't No Sunshine on this next album because it's good.
Can you do it live? Maybe put it on there live?
Oh, we got a version we did down in Paintsville at the Alley. What's it called?
Yeah.
Alley on Main?
Alley on Main.
Dude. He was in the zone that night.
Yeah.
It was pretty much, we probably had 100 people in this little place. They're all up top, down the bottom. People are hooping and hollering. We hit the beginning lick and the drums comes in, right? And I'm like, can anybody name that song? She goes, Ain't No Sunshine. Kim goes, she played that in 2 notes. Right? Next thing you know, the song kicks off and you're like, Sam was melting it. It was just the perfect lead. And then he hands it off to Kevin. And Kevin's more of a Van Halen kind of, he'll play his country and he'll start punching licks up there. I'm like, where does it come from? It was one of the best versions we had ever played ever. And I go to that when somebody asks me, hey, send me something live. I send that one. See, yeah, this is something live. The video sucks, but just listen to the audio.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
It was good.
Yeah.
That just goes to a good song because, like, I might try to learn all the licks off like these guys, but we end up making our own.
Yeah.
But the song is good, so the song, it sounds like the song.
Stands on its
You know
own.
what
Yeah.
it is. It stands on its own.
Yeah.
I think in most of these, in my years of playing, even my bass playing, if you hit the key notes that are noticed by people on a song, it don't matter 95% of the rest of it. If you hit those 4 or 5 notes, that's the noticeable note that everybody's going to know. That's that song. Oh, I love that song. The rest of it, they don't care.
They don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the musicians in the audience are like, that wasn't even close. He turned to the D. Should have went to the 4. Right? People will be complaining, but people in the audience,
They don't care.
no, they don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Little signature licks. Yeah.
That's right. You got to hit those signature spots.
What was your influences growing up? You've touched on some of it, but
Yeah. So for me, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash. I grew up in Eastern Kentucky, so it's going to sound weird. And I tell the story a lot whenever we play this one song, but Billy Joel. I'm a huge Billy Joel freak.
yeah.
When I was in like 5th grade, I wanted this album called Glass Houses, like nobody's business, and my mom wouldn't buy it. We'd already used all our 1-cent Columbia House get all albums. So we were sitting there and she says, you just gotta earn that $4. I remember it like it was yesterday. It's $4. I'm like, I don't know. I said, I want this AC/DC high voltage too. Well, you better go to work. I literally went down, got the file, this old school push mower. I walked Peter Street up in East Williamson and in Eastern Kentucky is Williamson, West Virginia.
Yeah.
And over in Eastern Kentucky where my mall Hatfield was. And I mowed people's grass for like 50 cents to $1.
Yeah.
Small yards.
Yeah.
But I'm out there sweating it. It took me about 2 weeks, saved up $10. My mom took me and Billy Joel, Glass Houses, and AC/DC high voltage. I sat with those cheap headphones and I sat in there with my guitar, my little Squire. I'm just learning every lick I could.
Yeah.
But we do a version of You May Be Right.
Yeah.
That's other than Billy Joel's live version that I heard up in Madison Square Garden. Probably just as good as any I've ever heard. It's good.
That's awesome.
He rips it. It sounds really good too.
We started trying to knock off or go to see these classic artists because they're not going to tour much longer.
No, that's right.
And so we went to see Billy Joel in Cincinnati a couple years ago. Man, it's just a phenomenal concert.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Dave, I'm very, very lucky. So through the course of all of our business dealings, Sam and I have spent a lot of time on the road, but we've met some cool people.
Yeah.
So I met this lady in Nashville named Marcy Allen. Her aunt, BB, was Charlie Daniels' road manager.
Wow.
40-some years, right? Her grandfather was like one of the first integrated radio DJs. Huge in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Marcy was the CMA concert promoter of the year 8 years in a row. She's connected. She happens to be Billy Joel's agent. So I called her up back in November.
What a small world, right?
Said, hey,
Yeah.
I saw Billy Joel sold out stuff at Madison Square, just opened up a new show in January. She goes, how many tickets do you need? I said, 6. She went, okay. So sold out shows. I got like front of Billy Joel, like 16 rows back.
Yeah.
Right in the center. And I'm like, I don't know if life could be a whole lot better than that. That was like on my top of my one artist going to go see. Elton John I wanted to see. And
Yeah.
I definitely want to see Garth Brooks and some of these other guys, but Billy Joel was like, wow, that was awesome. Spent a whole weekend up there just gloating in it. It was great.
Yeah. Amanda talked me into going to see Garth.
Yeah.
I was never a huge Garth fan. There's just some idiosyncrasies or something to him that, I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, no, you're completely missing the concept here.
He's written some great stuff.
Oh my gosh, man. 3-hour concert and just
full of energy.
Yeah. Just one song better than the next. And
it's unbelievable.
It was awesome.
Yeah. We do some of Garth. We don't do a lot. Yeah. I know about any Garth song. I'll tell you a funny story. In college, my college roommate called me up. I'm in Paris, Kentucky, topping tobacco up in the top of a barn, sweating myself to pieces. And he called the house one night. He goes, hey man, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I'm working in the tobacco fields, I'm waiting tables, doing this, I'm getting ready for school start. He goes, you got to take off Saturday. We got to go to Huntington, West Virginia. I said, what? He goes, you ever hear Camden Park? I'm like, that's like our go-to place when I was a kid. That was our field trip place.
Yeah.
What's at Camden Park? He goes, this dude named Garth Brooks is coming to Camden Park. He said, man, he goes, he's got this song called If Tomorrow Never Comes and the dance. He goes, it's great. You got to go. So, all right. I said, pick me up on the way. So we drive from Paris to Huntington.
Yeah.
We go to get into this amusement park that I grew up as a kid. I go, what's it cost to get in to watch the show? They're like, $1.
Yeah, $1.
Are you serious? She goes, $1, honey.
Yeah.
So we go in. Garth played 2 shows, 4:30 and 7 o'clock. At the 4:30 show, he probably had 15 people.
Wow.
At the 7 o'clock show, there were 7 of us. Me and Tony were 2 of them. He had more people in his band that were sitting in the stands watching him play.
I remember him
dance.
coming to Camden Park.
Dude, I tell you.
Yeah. My friends went to
Yeah.
We were in Ashland at that time, so all my friends went over to Camden Park to see Garth, and this when he's first breaking.
First came out. So they must have been part of the 4:30 show.
Must have been.
Because the 7 o'clock show, there were 7 people there.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's when I really got, so Garth was a bit of an influence. I met Alan Jackson at Morehead State. So he came, signed my guitar, which is cool. Travis Tritt, Merle, all those guys. But Billy Joel was probably my biggest influence.
Yeah. Sam?
I was going to say I got to have church music because I grew up in church and highbrow and country church, but I was more of rock, Southern rock. Back in high school and college, I loved Skinner and Charlie Daniels, Allman Brothers, all those at 38 Special. And then I did play in a band. We played some country. We played disco. We played everything back in the day when I was playing with those guys. And so there's a lot of country. There's a lot of country stuff that these rest of the guys know that I don't know, but I've heard the big ones, and I enjoy all music.
Oh yeah.
You got to tell the story about the guy that said, "If you don't play it, I'm gonna kick your ass."
Oh yeah. So when I first started playing in a rock or a real band, these guys were about 6 years older, and so I was like 16. So that was a big age gap.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was over at the Aquatic Club here in Lexington. Played my first show. It was a factory party. I had my 6-pack of Mountain Dew on in there. So we were warming up, and this old redneck comes up, and he was drunk. He says, boy, you play the band? I said, yes, sir. He says, boy, do you play Dixie? Well, I'm kind of new to the band. I'll ask him. He says, boy, if you don't play Dixie, I'm going to kick your ass. My eyes were big as saucers. I never heard anything like that. So his wife drug him off, and then the other guitar player, he's a big strapping guy. He says, you better get away from him. Says, I got something in my pocket. So my life has never been the same.
Hey, you don't play Dixie, I'm going to kick your ass.
Did you play it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
We played Rocky Top.
Yeah, well, that's in Dixie.
Close enough.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's in the South.
It cracks me up.
So what's your favorite non-Robert Eskridge song to play?
It's Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's man, dude just had a cool vibe to him. A lot of stuff that he wrote was just great. But Ain't No Sunshine was one of those heartbroken stories, right?
Yeah.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
So what speaks to you about that song? Is it the lyrics? Is it the groove of the appeal?
I think it's, so we play it very different than what Bill Withers does. Right? His is more of that soft. You got the Hammonds back there in the back. Ours is more of a just ratchet to grind and just blues guitar, not organ driven. But Carrie does a really good job on the drums. It's really kind of the power of the song. And then after the I Knows, when these guys lights up the guitar, it's just like people are like they're like throwing money. I mean, it's crazy. It's good. That's probably my favorite song. And if you ask my wife, she would say, of all the songs that I sing, you should do that song. If you get asked to go do it anywhere, if you did The Voice or America's Got whatever, that's your bread and butter.
Wow. Yeah. Sam, what's yours?
Gee, that's hard. That's one of the good ones. I think the Billy Joel song, you may be right, because it's one of the ones that you got the feel that you don't have the instrumental. And I worked the guitar lead out. I got this part I could repeat it out like that. But it's really hard to pick other ones.
Yeah,
really.
it is. I didn't know if there's just something that you found yourself in the zone. It's just fun to play. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you would come up with there.
Sometimes we'll play Stormy Monday, Allman Brothers Band. I love that one. I've always loved that song.
Yeah.
He can kill that song. And I've heard the Allman Brothers a lot. I love their live albums. I'm a big 70s rock guy. Sam might do that song better than the Allman Brothers.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm telling you, it's really, really good.
That's the one when you're in the groove, especially got people that like a blues song.
Yeah.
And it really hits.
But even from our side, even with that one, it's kind of, we do it the way that we do it, right?
Yes.
Me and Carrie have a nice kind of kick drum, bass kind of lick.
Yeah.
We kind of always follow through there. And it's not exactly like the Allman Brothers. It sounds rhythmically the same, but when you pull all the dynamics together, it sounds very different, but that's the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
And it's done in a manner that's like, that was a cool version of that one.
Yeah.
And
And you're doing it as a 4-piece.
That's right.
And the other song I really like, it's more recent for us learning, is Brooks and Dunn, Brand New Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause we hit that one and it hits on the harmony, and we hit that, and the people that know the song they just immediately
Holy
notice.
crap.
Yeah. I think that's what I was looking for, right? Because there's just pieces of different songs that when you hit them just right, there's just nothing else like it.
Yeah.
It's just a cool thing. Yeah, that's awesome. What about your favorite Robert Eskridge song to play?
Ooh, let's see. I would say
And that's not to discount any song. I'm just saying.
my favorite one to play, and we don't play it very often anymore, was Takes. Yeah, that one to me was sometimes I cry when I play it.
Of course.
Can't get through it, right? So
Yeah.
I think about all those times when I was gone or traveling and I couldn't be with my kids.
Yeah.
And, my first marriage wasn't the greatest. And so I felt like I needed to be there for my kids as much as I could. And you look back at the amount of time that you're working, or you got to go do this, you got to do that. And you don't realize, you miss stuff that you never get back. And you hope that what you teach them through the course of your time being with them, it kind of sticks, and that if they have to make choices, that they make not such bad choices they can't recover from them.
Yeah.
It's okay to make bad choices. You got to learn, but don't make one so bad that you can't recover from that one. That one's a tough one. Right?
Yeah.
So that one to me, sometimes when we first started doing it, I'd cry. I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
It's got the feels for me, and I just risk my heart.
Yeah.
Give him the link to your video. Has he seen the video that Paul did with you?
Oh, I don't know. I
That was
posted
good.
it up on Facebook not so long. It's got all the pictures of the kids as they grew up.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So,
Knowing you and your family, I mean,
Yeah.
I know the song, right? You're like, oh, yeah, I get it.
so to be irreverent with that, we have worked with a guy, Micah.
That was it.
Yeah, Micah's one of our good friends from working, and he's a little irreverent, and so he says, "Yeah, you can tell them all you want to, but at the time they're 13, it's done." I just hope they listen to you a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
That was a good one.
Well, it's time for another song, I think.
Let's do it.
What do you want to play? Play something good.
What do you want to do, Sam?
You want to do "Ain't No Sunshine," or do you want to do one?
I
of
could do
yours?
Ain't No Sunshine. Can you do the lead okay on that, Laramie?
Probably. I got to pick.
All right, we'll do it.
We'll just do
We'll
abbreviated.
do I won't do the I knows. We'll let you do the, I got to do the I knows. Let's play some lead. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away, I wonder this time where she's gone. I wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away, I know, 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 I know. Hey, I'm gonna leave a young thing alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. I like that song.
Yeah, it's awesome. That was awesome. So the whole band's doing that normally.
Yeah.
One of the things I've always thought was pretty impressive about, some of the greatest songs are just simple 3-chord songs.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that one is. I'm just saying it's not an overly complicated song.
That's right.
But the magic's in that, the stops.
It's
that emotion that you get
it's
there.
The feel, and you get, again, when you hear Carrie hit this, he's got the high.
Yeah.
And with the electric guitars really rip it, man, it's like, whoo, man, it gives you chill bumps.
Yeah.
That's the kind of song that you like to, like, oh man, you can kind of get your groove on too, and everybody knows it. That's
Yeah, you're right about the hi-hat. That's a perfect place for that just a little accent right there. Yeah. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. So let's talk about, you touched on it too, the list of awards.
Yeah.
Man, you got a list of awards.
Yeah, it is. For somebody that doesn't have a record deal, we do pretty good, I think. Make pretty good impact. Seriously.
That's a whole other question. We need to come back to the record deal, but to the awards. Is that the Academy of Country Music?
It is. I got a nice little plaque in my music room that I was one of their nominees in 2020. Right after that first album came out, I started getting a lot of emails, a lot of this, a lot of that. And I didn't make the final 5, but I was in the first 2 rounds. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
It's a voting thing.
Okay.
So, as an independent dude, to be on the list at all was a big deal. Right.
So, I mean, you're still in the 20, 25 voting?
No. So for this, it's different. So it's a very different world than it was even 5 years ago.
Okay.
All right. So when I first released this album, it was hot, right? Buck Wild really put me out there really fast. Then we followed up with You're My Destiny, which was great. Then one of the most songs that I've ever had streamed is a song called Simple Things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's streamed like over 1 million times. I mean, it's crazy, right? So that really got a lot of attention in the year and a half that kind of took out of there. And what ends up happening is you're hot, and when you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you got Jelly Roll up there.
Yeah.
Right? And Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a different piece. So I would say that when you start really thinking about those type of accolades, your major people would be the guys up there, the guys at the Warner Brothers.
Sure.
All the major record labels would be those guys. You get to people like myself, you'll get, I love Cody Jinks. I don't know who Cody Jinks is.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Doesn't have a record label. He's an independent, so he doesn't get any of these accolades. It's weird to me. You got some of this great talent out there, and because you don't have a major label backing, you don't get that because those votes come from accredited high-end radio stations, a Cumulus, an iHeart. I can't crack that nut. I'm great in small, medium radio. We are very well known across the United States in small, medium markets, but I can't get played on K93 here in town unless DJ hooks me up on a Sunday show or an afternoon, right? Request, because we're not sanctioned by their mothership.
How about that?
I'm an independent.
Yeah. Is that a choice that you've made to be an independent?
Yeah. I've had a couple of chances to sign deals. One chance I walked away from young, thank God. Some of these record deals early on were just ludicrous. Yeah. And I'll tell you that even these younger guys that are coming out right now, they're not making any money, man. The way this industry is, they give you an advance, they give you this, and you might be humping 200 road shows a year, and you might, after you pay your crew and this and you pay back your advance, and you get if you didn't write it, you're paying the songwriter. You might make $100,000 a year. Yeah. Right. And so for us, we had consciously not pursued that any further. I would love to be on a major record label, to get on huge radio, because I think some of those songs are, compared to some of what I hear, we could be just as good as some of these guys.
Of course. Yeah.
But I'm not willing to go do the time. 30 years ago, I would have.
Yeah.
I would have humped the bus with nobody's business. You put me on, I would clean the toilets with my toothbrush, right? To have this shot.
Right.
But I've been too long in the tooth, and I'm semi-retired. Sam's retiring. Carrie's retired. And our idea of fun is going out. If we just go downtown, like the Horse and Jockey, and we have 30 people or 40 people in there, and they're enjoying the hell out of it, and they're sending us drinks, and they're dancing and hooping it up, I get more enjoyment out of that than I probably would anything else.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably a bunch of people like this in Nashville and any place else that music is. I never really did it for the money anyways.
Yeah.
Right. I just did it because I really love to do it. I write because it's a release for me. If I get something in my brain, sometimes it's therapeutic. I can sit down and spend an hour and I'll get through. I've got 3/4 songs. I probably got 200 of them in a notebook.
Yeah.
And I'll flip through. Oh, that's a good one. I can go back and finish that one. I'll pull that out, put it in, put a sticky note on it. And that's how part of that process, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. These were cool. Being in that was a big deal. The CMA Fest was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
The Josies, it's cool. It's a little bit different because the Josies only focus on independence. They don't want anybody that's got a label.
Now, is that local to here?
No, they're out of Tennessee. I can't remember where they're from, but yeah, they're cool. It's nice. And it's nice because it's like 50,000 people get their name in this thing and these songs, and they got judges, and they go through and they actually categorize them based off of genre and the type. And, that was a pretty big deal. When Life Happens was the top 10 there of all those songs that it was nominee for the Song of the Year.
I wasn't sure if that was like a regional award or not, because I don't know.
Yeah,
right?
It's all over the U.S.
Even international. There's a few folks.
That's right.
There's another local artist here that she just won this year. Several.
Sam Rourke?
Tiffany Nesbitt.
Oh, yeah, we know Tiffany.
Yeah. I don't know. I just follow her on Facebook.
She I don't think she won the Josies. Renee and Warren did, and Tiffany was with her down in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Renee, Renee and Warren Cobb?
No.
They have, is it Overtones?
Overtones Live.
Yeah.
Overtones sounds familiar.
Yeah.
They've done all kinds of things in music.
So they won for some type of video production with the Goodwin brothers, and Tiffany was down there with them. But yeah, they do a lot in this area for like local artists.
Yeah.
It's called Overtones Live. You should connect with them if you want to get into a different, outside podcasts and other things. They do a lot of different things. They're plugged into a lot of stuff. They do video production, all kinds of audio stuff. They do a pretty good job. So Renee's a corporate speaker, but her passion is really music. She graduated from University of Kentucky in a music program.
So earlier you mentioned waking up with the success overseas. I mean, how does that happen? How do you get picked up in Europe? How do you get these things in Europe? And
God bless James Williams. James Williams is the guy.
To James?
Yeah. So like I said, so if I pick up the phone, so I tried this a lot. I pick up the phone. I was on the phone all hours of the night, calling people, leaving messages, emails, poof, poof, poof. And sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Right.
So I found, screw this. I ain't doing it. So I called Mike Bonagura, the guy that we know that did this album. I said, dude, who did you guys have that promoted some of your stuff? Do you guys have anybody? Because Mike's a nice, trustworthy guy. I said, do you have somebody that you would trust? He goes, Robert, he goes, this town's crooked. He goes, when we were doing it, he goes, you could walk down the street and people would help people out. He goes, they will screw you and screw you twice in the same day if they thought they could get a penny from you. He goes, you got to be careful. He goes, there's like 2 people in this town that I trust. I said, can I get their name? James Williams was one of them.
Yeah.
So I picked up the phone and called him on my way back. I said, James, I got your name from Mike Bonagura. He swears by you, says you're one of the kindest, honest, most people. He goes, that's the word of mouth advertising that I like.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. He goes, send me your stuff. He goes, I can't tell you that I'm going to play it and won't promote it. He goes, but I won't promote it if I don't think it's got a chance. He goes, because I only get a limited number of these things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he's picking up the phone, promoting people, and people pay him to do that. I mean, I pay him good. But if you got a crappy song, then the next time he picks up the phone, it's like, you know what? Thanks, but I want to pass.
Yeah.
So he's very selective through the years. And so he has about, I would say 15 or 20 independents, and a couple of those are big name guys. He still does Kenny Chesney.
Oh, wow.
He's got some big artists. But these guys grew up like we did as an independent, and met James, and James is a good guy. Yeah, I want him to promote my stuff. So when he does his deals, James does several of these big acts. But he's really reasonable for me. And, he will pick up the phone. So he's got a list of about 5,000 radio stations. You wouldn't believe how many radio stations are until you have to sit down and do one-liners. You know what a one-liner
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Robert Eskridge. Thank you very much. We're on the David Jew podcast. Thank you so much. Hey, here's my new song, Better Way, right?
Yeah.
I've done thousands of those things.
You did some videos of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I never knew there were so many radio stations in every area till you get a list. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I spent hours doing things, and I saved every one of them because if I ever do get famous, I was going, oh, I did that one here.
Yeah.
How to redo the new song, right?
That may have been one of the things that turned me on to your music, because I think you did a Facebook video.
Yeah, doing the one-liners.
Doing the one-liners.
Yeah.
And as we were trying to get a band going, right, and here you pop up doing these one-liners. Well, I knew enough to say, well, he's not making it up for something to do on a Saturday afternoon. He's trying to get the songs on the radio.
It's crazy.
You got to record those pieces.
So James takes those and he sends them out, and they go out in this, I can't remember what AirPlay Access is what he uses, but it'll go on the front end and then it'll say, here's my song. He sends it to radio stations, but he has a list of those and he'll send me a report every week. And it's simple. It's like a 7 or 8 page list. It's got all the stations that he mainly tracks, and these are the people that report. So the way that it works is, it's weird to me, to be honest. I'll give you guys my 30 years of learning in 60 seconds. It's like baseball. You got Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Then you got Little League. Then you got Babe Ruth, high school, the college, minor league, small farm, poop to the majors, right?
Yeah.
Same in this industry. So James can pick up the phone, and he has great connections in small and medium radio. That's the 50,000 watt and less, 50,000 to 100,000. Above 100,000, it becomes a much, much bigger deal. You got your iHearts, your Cumulus, and all these other big guys that are driving probably 200-300 major radio stations across the United States. But James can pick up the phone and send a thing, and I get a report, and it's very simple. It's got WL, will listen. Y will be yes. P is possible. X is no thank you. And LM is left message. I get a report every week of everybody he calls. And every time, I don't care what song it is, every time a radio station picks up my song and says, yes, I go to Facebook, I find them, I send them a message. Some I'll leave them a voicemail. I'll send them a thank you note, handwritten thing, because I think that is what makes a difference. For me as an independent, they don't have to play my stuff.
Yeah.
They could say, James, no thanks. I appreciate it, but no thank you. But over the course of 5 years, I released, this is my 8th song, I think. On every one, I sent either a handwritten note or a thank you message to their Facebook, or left a voicemail with the DJ. Something to let them know that, hey, I'm watching and I'm looking, and I appreciate the absolute hell out of you taking time to play my song.
How about that?
And I get responses back.
Sure.
Dude, you rock. You get a new song, I'll play your song every time. And so what happens over 5 years, you release a new song, and this wasn't last week, it was the week before last, we released Better Way on a Monday. The charts come out on a Tuesday. Inside of 24 hours, it was the most added song in country radio.
Wow.
That's crazy to me.
Of all country radio.
Of all country radio. And that's the other one you have up there, New Music Weekly.
Yeah.
I like that group because it's Kenny Loggins' brother. It's Paul Loggins, right? So they're related. But anyways, New Music Weekly, they don't care if you got a record deal. They don't care who you are. They track majors and small, medium market. And they just track spins. They've got X number of stations that report to them, and they don't care who you are. If you got a song that's getting played, you chart with those guys. So I've had every one we released been top 10 with this group, and that's cool to me.
So it's not cool. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask a question that may be a little bit offensive. I don't know how else to ask it.
Yeah, just ask it. I'm direct.
I know. So when I look at you, what you're putting out, right? And I sit there at home or wherever I'm at and like, holy crap, man, this is awesome. But it must be an indie chart. It must be something else because, Robert's tracking above, Jelly Roll or Beyonce or whatever else. What you're saying is that is you are actually charting above these artists.
That's right. Yeah. And so you think about this in this world, the Josies would be your small farm.
Yeah.
Your New Music Weeklies would be your minor leagues. Your Music Row charts, we chart on Music Row every time. We've had every song on Music Row charts. That's probably you're getting ready to go to the majors. And Billboard Country is your major league. That's how that would work. Kind of independent Josie's, New Music Weekly, Music Row, Billboard. I mean, it's as simple as that. So we've only had, of the songs we released, Glasses Up was the only song I've had on Billboard. But as an independent, taking nothing away from anything that we've ever done, to sit here and be able to say, you know what? I've had a song on Billboard country.
Yeah.
It was 247, but damn it.
Yeah.
It was on a damn chart. I got a little plaque in my office. It says it. They sent me a little thing. So
Do you get
cool.
a plaque when you get on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's when he first started telling us to go. I started looking stuff on the internet. Robert, what is this chart? So there's a big world to learn about how it works.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. And I'm fascinated by that. And so let's just pick on Beyonce for a second. I only heard like 10 seconds of the song, but
right.
So she's going to be in that major league because she's got the backing and the major labels, whatever else.
Yeah, she's got $1 billion behind her too.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're outperforming her.
Yeah.
Across the country.
Country radio. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just mind-blowing.
Crazy to me.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah. And I look at this stuff, and I like New Music Weekly because they track main charts, actual stations that are syndicated 50 to 100,000 watts, right? And then they also track digital because there's a lot of small, like podcast setups that you have an office in your place. You're passionate about DJing. You do it 3 nights and you got an audience of X number of people. So they track a certain number of those as well. So the digital as well as the other. I like both of them because, again, they don't care that you don't have a deal. They only care that somebody liked your song enough, and they picked their stations that they monitor. Those stations said that was worthy to be in there with Keith Urban and Jelly Roll and these other guys. I mean, when I look at these charts, I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe it. I mean, that to me it's a validation point, right?
That would just be one term to describe that.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And I look at those charts every week and I think, all right, I wonder how Better Way is going to be. When James sent me the report, he said, "Here, I got to tell you," he goes, your last song was good. So the last album was a step function improvement, I think, from the first one. But he goes, man, you people like your stuff. He goes, I don't have any problem getting people to play your stuff anymore. When you first came out, I was like, come on, man, hook this dude up. This is a good song. You got to play it. He goes, but because you've been consistent, every 5 or 6 months, you've got a new song, and it's not a crappy, just play me. People want to hear your stuff. He goes, you've got now in small, medium market, you could release a song tomorrow. He goes, you'd be in the top of the list immediately. He says, whereas 5 years ago, it took us like almost 15 weeks to get Buck Wild up there. It took Better Way. It's already I think on New Music Weekly, it was number 57 within the first 24 hours. And that's crazy to me.
Only because it came out on Monday and the reports are on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I'm anxious to get the reports come out on Tuesday. So I'm anxious to get tomorrow's report. Get excited to get the bourbon out.
Well, you should. Yeah. I mean,
I do. I get the bourbon out. We've had bourbon nights where we get, let's come over. Come on, man. We get the record labels out. It's so cool. Stuff's coming.
So are you feeling pressure because of this?
No, I don't think we ever felt any pressure. I will tell you one of the coolest things that happened to us. We were playing in Pigeon Forge at that place.
Yep.
And I've only had this happen twice, but it was one of the coolest things. So we're sitting there and we load our stuff in and out, right? We don't have roadies. It's us. So we're sweating. I'm sweating. I'm hot and damn it, trying to get stuff right. And sound guys struggling, getting stuff together. And Kevin comes in and goes, hey man, he goes, come outside for a minute. I'm like, dude, he goes, come outside. So I walk outside and this woman is standing here. He goes, Robert, he goes, this is, I can't remember. I think it was Marilyn. This is Marilyn. I'm like, oh, hi. She goes, are you Robert Eskridge? I'm like, yes, ma'am. She goes, I love your Heroes at Home album. She goes, we're from Florida. We came up here to go to Pigeon Forge and we saw that your stuff was on a sign. She goes, I just want to know, can I get a picture with you?
How about that?
Kevin goes, I told you wanted to come out here. Ain't that cool? I'm like, I can't believe that. That was the first time it happened. And it happened up at Pinnacle Ford. I was going to get my truck serviced and I was coming back out and this man and his woman was just walking by and Julie was in her car. And the guy goes, I think that's Robert Eskridge. I'm like, do I know you? He goes, no, man. He goes, but I follow you on Facebook and I got all your albums. I think you guys are great. I'm like, dude, come here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's talk for a minute.
I'm glad Julie's with you.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Like crap.
She needs to live that every day.
Yeah, I know. That's right. I said, don't you remember?
Don't make me get an oil change again. I'll do it.
Yeah, she's a believer because meeting Lainey Wilson in the bathroom.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah,
that was cool.
That's true.
And that was cool too because it was Lainey Wilson, it was Nico Moon, Tom Hanks, and Rita. Who's his wife? Rita Wilson.
Rita, yeah.
So she was there. I mean, we got to meet a ton of cool people in this place, and just kind of walking around, and you got your pass. I'll tell you the other cool thing, and then I'll stop with these kind of stories because I don't have a big head. So I got my American flag shirt on. I love this shirt.
Yeah.
It's one of my ones that we played a couple times. So I'm walking through at the CMA Fest and watching the people. Went to see Tyler Booth, we like. He's a good old 606 guy, and he's making his way, right, which is great. And so I'm walking around, and we see Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson come in, and we see Chase Matthews come in. We know the bass player for Chase Matthews. He's from Moorhead. And so I see Chase come up, and I'm walking towards this area, and the guy comes up, security. He's got his fingers on here. Guy goes, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm going into the CMA Fest where the artists go." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Son," he goes, "This is for the artists only." I'm like, "Yes, sir. I should probably be on the list." He goes, What's your name? And he looks at the guy. I said, "It's Robert Eskridge." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Come on in. Let me let you through this." So I walked in, I'm like, "Chase, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, Eskridge, what's happening?" We're high-fiving. Julie's like, "I can't believe that just," I'm like, "Yeah, I was like spitting F word. I was mad. I got a badge and everything that says this. You let me in." No, kid. No. So yeah, that was cool. So going through that was a neat thing.
Yeah.
I was like, eat some humble pie, dude. You're not everybody. You don't know everybody.
Yeah.
Some of us you don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was really cool.
He does now.
Yeah, that's right.
He does. He's on a podcast somewhere like, "I'll stop to everybody except this Robert dude."
Punk, I thought there's no way this
Wearing
dude
an American flag shirt.
I'm not saluting you, dude.
Yeah.
He's a poser.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about the new album. So you got new music coming out.
Yeah. So I got to come up with a title for it. I'm not sure how it's there. This one's more of a. So each one of these, I think, for my albums, the two that we've done, I don't think that there's a song that sounds like the other one. I think if you just listen to all 10 or 11 of each one of those, there's pretty much a difference in each one of those, whether it be the rhythm, whether it's the story or how it goes. I don't think any of them sound alike, other than "Do You Ever Think of Me" and "I Can't Win for Losing You," I think kind of sound similar. But I like that because when I listen to music, I mean, I'm a huge Chris Stapleton fan. So I think his earlier stuff with his Blues Travelers was great. When I think a lot of his stuff these days sounds very similar. Just like Jelly Roll. When I hear Jelly Roll, all I hear is Jelly Roll doing his Jelly Roll thing. I don't hear it all sounds the same to me. A lot of these like Hunter Hayes or not, Walker Hayes, I mean, the Applebee's dude. I'm like, every song you have sounds exactly the same. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of that. So when you listen to these, you're going to kind of go on a journey of it's different.
Yeah.
They all tell a story in their own right, but they don't really sound like the same. And so on this last album that I'm writing, I've got like a bluegrass song you're going to like. It's called Kentucky Hills.
Yeah.
Right? It talks about when I went home from college down to Pike County, and it's kind of a cool thing. Head down Highway 64, right?
Yeah.
Kind of cool. And then I got this Who I Am song. And then I got Damn Right It's a Country thing, right? I mean, it's this good. Some of them are swampy. Some of them are bluegrass. Some are what I would call more of a Americana. And I'm not a huge Americana guy.
Right.
And I'm not trying to jump on the bandwagon, but I've had a couple of these songs written for 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Right. And just kind of have that vibe to them. And it's kind of turned out that way. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come around. I wrote a song. It's kind of a cool vibe. They haven't even heard this one. But it's called, shoot. I'm going to go blank. But anyways, I'll think of it in a second. But I was writing it because I was riding my lawnmower. And I'm sitting on my little John Deere. I'm like, man, sky's blue. I'm like, well, my tractor's green. Oh, well, the yard's mowed. Hell, my truck is clean. I went home. I went right inside. Sky is blue. Tractor's green.
There it comes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh darn it. I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
Well, let's do this. Let's take a quick break and then come back and let's hit another song. and then we'll do a couple more questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now we're back.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for the break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have a bio break. That's why you take 10 minutes in between sets.
Yeah, that's right.
Kevin's reason is he drinks beer.
Yeah.
Beer, once the gasket breaks, you got to go. See, with bourbon, it takes a long time for that gasket to go. It's a little bit different.
Shoot, I try to make it sometimes, and I thought I'm not going to make it today, so we're going to take a break.
All good.
I hate to be the cause for it, but that was going to happen today. All right, let's play. We got time for a couple more songs, I think. You got time for a couple more songs?
Yeah.
Let's do one now, and then we'll got a few other questions, and we'll finish up with one. Yeah, whatever you guys want to play.
What do you want to do, Sam? You want to do one, and I'll back you up.
I don't know. That's not I don't sing a Robert Eskridge song.
Oh, that's true.
Well, that was a pretty good delay tactic. It don't have to be Robert Eskridge.
I know. I'm trying to think what else we played.
Let's do You're My Destiny. So that was a good one. So, you know what we should do? Dave would really like this one. So I'll tell you a story. So my first time through on marriage was a good start, and it quickly went south. Quick. Like within the first 3 months. It was bad. But country music drives stories, right? So on that album there's a song, it's a very true country song called She Took Everything But the Blame. And it's dead on. And because of that song, I had to also write another one because I did meet somebody after a bunch of people tried to fix me up, and I wasn't a fan of that. But I met a girl that was from here in Lexington, and I met on Match, of all things.
Yeah.
A good friend of ours we worked with would come in. He'd invite me to dinner. And I go, and there's, Mike, why? Please, don't fix me up.
Yeah.
I don't want to be fixed up. I am okay. Well, you need a friend. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good for right now. Right? So I was in Taiwan working, and Mike was like, well, you got a good on Match. My friend met somebody on Match. It's a good thing. They match you up. I'm like, no. But I was working, and I'm writing this report up, and I went to Google something, and a free 30-day trial popped up. It's a true story.
Yeah.
I'm like, so let's just continue to work. Next day, popped up again. I'm like, what are you trying to say, right? You trying to talk to me? So I clicked on this thing. They want your whole life. It was like I had to write, I'm not doing this. I was there a week. The following weekend, I decided, all right, I'm bored. Let's go write this stuff up. And I did. So long story short, I filled out all the stuff, found some really pretty people that I thought, was very attractive. Save. Then I started reading, probably not a good ones. Don't like that vibe. The bad approach on that. And, she's cute. So I like that one. I stumbled across Julie's picture.
Yeah.
And I read her stuff. And it was the weirdest thing because as a corporate guy at Lexmark, we would have to go, when we go to a city, you stay at the same hotels. They got a corporate rate and everybody stays at this place. And I'm looking at her pictures. I'm like, she had red toes that were on an infinity pool, like in a sunny day. I'm like, I am 99% sure that is the hotel in Singapore that overlooks the casino and the botanical garden. So I type in a thing, said, have your toes been in Singapore? The next day, because I'm in Taiwan, she goes, who are you? Yeah, right. So it's like, how do you know that?
You're an internet creeper.
And so I'm going, well, it looks like do you work at Lexmark? I see some people that I know. She's like, again, I'm intrigued. Who are you? Oh, yeah, I worked at Lexmark, blah, blah, blah. So we went back and forth. And finally she had a friend. And if you drew a map over the people that we kind of knew, we'd probably have a 20 to 25% coverage because she also worked at Lexmark.
Yeah.
Right. So Lexmark had 3,000 or 4,000 people there. So I didn't know everybody there, and you never would. Right.
Right.
But, Julie called her friend Kathy. She goes, I got this dude named Robert Eskridge trying to ask me out. She's like, Robert Eskridge? Is he divorced? She goes, I hope so. She goes, if he's divorced, you need to go to lunch with him. He is a nice guy. She's like, really? She goes, yeah, you really got to go. She goes, really? She goes, they got this bar. Like, females have bars on guys, evidently. But there's a guy that they all knew that went out and married one of their friends. It's like, he is Tom Bailey nice. Julie's like, oh, Tom Bailey nice. She goes, Tom Bailey nice. She goes, all right, I'm gonna go. So we went on our first date, and we talked for like 2 hours at Jalapenos up on Russell Cave Road. It's no longer there, and we've not been apart since. And she's an awesome person. But we used to walk around our neighborhood in Melrose Avenue over in Chevy Chase, and in the evening time, the sun would come out a certain way, and we asked how songs come to me.
Yeah.
I was on the left side. She was on the right side. We're holding hands, and I was turning around talking, and I'm looking. I can see my big body shadow sideways, and she's not there. I'm like, oh, like a shadow is walking so silently. And it came to my mind. I went back to my room, and I wrote that song in like 10 minutes. Because after the 17 years that she took everything but the blame, I really believe God felt pity on me and sent me somebody that was truly my destiny. So the song is "You're My Destiny." And that's how that one came about.
From a 30-day free trial.
From a 30-day free trial of match. And 11 years later, it stuck. Ready?
Yeah.
So "You're My Destiny" always funny. Jared would laugh because whenever we met, he was like 13. Jesse was just turning 16. And, I call her my Lommel, right? Love of my life. And we were at dinner one night, and Jared's like 20 years old. He goes, I just got a question. He goes, why did you call her Llama? Boy, I said, what the hell? I said, Lommel. He goes, Lommel? Oh, he goes, I thought you've been calling her Llama for the last 6 years. I'm like, no, come on. God darn. You ready, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. You're my destiny. If I'd never taken the time to tell you all the things that I'd love to say, never taken the time to show you love you so many different ways. It's a wonder we have on drifting apart as I lay here and watch you sleep, reminded of memories filled with joy. You're my destiny. The way you laugh, the way you touch, I could never get enough. My happiest hours are when you're by my side. You're my lover, you're my best friend. I pray to God it never ends. Oh, can't you see? You're my destiny. Through the years, so clear, one thing's never changed. Like a shadow that walks so silently, always there to ease my pain. So unselfish and oh so kind. And as I put your hand in mine, I know that I never knew love till the day that I found you. The way you laugh, the way you touch, I could never get enough. My happiest hours are when you're by my side. You're my lover, you're my best friend. I pray to God it never ends. Oh, can't you see? You're my destiny. Oh, can't you see? You're my destiny. Yeah, sometimes I cry on that one too.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
I like that one.
Sam, man, awesome job back there on the vocals. Yeah, come alive there.
I just get into the zone.
Yeah.
He's there on it.
Yeah. Needed that break, man. We got the break. And
So Robert always teases me about being laid back. But when I first started Lexmark, I'm older than Robert, by the way. I won't say how much, but he thought I was like 25.
Yeah.
Had my khakis and my polo shirt, so that I played or did anything, just no. But when I get fired up, give me a shot of bourbon. And,
So we played a few gigs, right? So we're kind of a bluesy, rocky kind of Southern rock band. And we got a show down at Henry Clay's place, and I'm setting up, and Sam comes rolling in, got his loafers, his khakis, his white T-shirt, and a blue Oxford. I said, Sam, I said, you show up at another show looking like the Xerox copy guy. I said, I'm going to rip your effing sleeves out of your shirt. He went, what? I'm like, you can't show up like that. You play guitar like you don't even, you're not that guy.
play Dixie, Sam.
I'll never forget that. I son of a bitch. You can't show up like that, play guitar the way you do. They'll laugh you off the stage. Come on, man. Play ZZ Top.
I did work on my image. I had a health issue a few years ago. Anyway, I started wearing this hat because my wife says the other hats make me look like a redneck. I said, and then I wear these Western shirts since we're a country band. You know, It's got the little patterns there. So when I go out, I try to have that much of an image.
Yeah. You're the sexiest thing somebody's ever saw the other week.
Yeah, that's right. How does image get into the band? I mean, is that something you focus on? Do you care?
No. I think for us, well, I don't want him to be Xerox copy guy. He'll show up now.
That was a loaded question. I just say
he's sharp though. He wears his hat. He's got his cool shirts on. And I tell you, what's cool if you watch, like I said, Kevin's very theatrical in his playing, right? He'll grant.
Yeah.
But what I see, because as the bass player, I'm watching both of them. When Sam is feeling his groove, he gets the nose crunch. Right? He's like, and he shakes his head.
Like, oh boy, here we are.
Oh yeah, man. When I see that happen, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good lead. I know it's coming.
It's about to blow up.
Yeah. And the other thing that he does, and I don't know if you notice, you do this, he'll be standing there playing. When I know he's really in the groove, and he steps out wide. I mean, when I know that, and I'm like, oh hell, it's coming now. He's going to rip his face off. When that left leg goes wide, he's going to start bending the snot out of some strings.
Sammy Tsunami coming right there. Yeah.
It's Jekyll and Hyde. I've never seen anything like it. It's true.
I told you I knew it was you all through the parking lot because I saw his hat through the window. I was like, oh, they're here. I know that hat.
Yep. You know, Carrie, he's like Carrie Elliott, he's a drummer in our band. He's like the national champion turkey caller right there in Bourbon County.
Is he really?
He's got his own mouthpiece. He'll go. A whole month of April. Like, don't book me in April. I'm judging Nashville. I'm here. I'm turkey hunting with this guy, that there. I got my label stuff happening. So he does April's turkey season. So we try to not book in April. So we got a share drive. I'm like, he's put the dates in there because if it's not in there, I'll book it. You're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does that in the month of April. But you know, he always wears. As a drummer, I'm be like in a tank top. He's 2 T-shirts, sweatbands, and he'll be a sweaty mess. And I swear to God, after every show, you look down, it's like a beaver family of 10 must have been here eating his drumsticks. He'll go through a set of sticks a night. I've never seen anything like it. But Kevin's always got like he's a big UK fan. He's got a Kentucky hat or a International Harvester hat and a shirt and his jeans and his work boots. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own real image, so it's not manufactured.
Yeah.
And I thought about that because, he says, well, we're going to be playing these places and I'm going to get records. I thought about it. And I got rid of the Oxford cloth, but everybody has their own image, and it really works.
Right. And you want that, right? You don't want to try to force fit somebody into a box that they're in. When Kevin, like I said with Kevin, when he's getting his stuff, his guitar, when he goes like Sam, when his guitar goes like this, he's getting ready to get into it too, right? So everybody's got their thing, and I think that's cool. And I think if you guys ever come to one of our shows, what you'll find is it's fun. I would say that for a country band, we just don't stand and play and look around. I mean, we're back and forth. We're kicking the stuff, jumping up and down. And we're not like heavy metal thrasher kind of crazy, but we're not your typical stand around and play just a country song and let you dance. Yeah. I mean, we're I would say for a country Southern rock, we're pretty high energy. And I'll chat it up on the mic. If I see somebody having a good time, hell, I'll send you a drink. I mean, I'm throwing koozie from the stage. I mean, I want people to have fun.
Yeah.
Because if they're having fun, that means that they're going to be spending money. And if they're spending money, the bar's making money. If they're making money, they're like, when can you come back?
Yeah.
Right. And so we probably have 10 places around this area that we play pretty regular. And that's great. And from time to time, we'll play Nashville. We'll do stuff in Indianapolis and a few other places. But, just having 10 steady places to go play, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's
people want that connection. They want that interaction.
Yeah.
We talk about it every week, the authenticity and that human connection to people.
If you're just out there staring at the thing and just singing your song just to be singing it, nobody's going to like that.
Yeah.
They might dance because it's the song. But man, when you're in it and all of a sudden, instead of that just regular song, you get that guttural growl that comes out, you're like, damn, I felt that. That was good. Right?
When you get the front step from Sam.
When you get the front step, when you get that front wide step or Kevin's guitar goes down, shit's getting ready to get real. I'm telling you. I've learned it over the last decade. I watch these guys every time. It cracks me up because I can predict them. Ooh, this is going to be good. I'm going to watch. And then when that happens, I'm like, Sam, scoot up to the middle. Get in the middle. Don't stand behind the mic. Get up in the middle.
I got to think about that meme of the guitar players playing slugs. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Like John Mayer, they'll have a slug instead of the guitar. They'll Photoshop it in their mouths open. They're kind of going.
It's great.
This sounds like it's working now.
But you know what? What's nice is with this 4 guys, it's fun.
Yeah.
And we all kind of talk about it because the minute it's not fun, somebody's going to be leaving or we're going to quit.
Yeah.
I'll sell everything. The minute it's no longer fun for me, because I tell the kids all the time because they'll laugh. So I know a dude named Rodney Atkins. Rodney Atkins is a big 90s country guy, right? Back when I was chasing my dream, he was chasing his dream. So our middle girl, Melina, and they're not babies, junior and the sophomore, they're in the honors program at EKU. So they were down doing a presentation in Jacksonville. Right outside their hotel is Jacksonville Park. Rodney Atkins is playing. Melina sends me this picture. Goes, you know this guy, Rodney Atkins? I'm like, yeah, go up and tell him Rob Eskridge said hi. He'll know exactly who you're talking about. So I met him when I was in Nashville. We used to run around together. He goes, her exact words, bullshit. I'm like, seriously, I know Rodney Atkins. I know a lot of those guys back in the day. They were no different than I was. They just kept on and I came back. She goes, you're serious? I was like, yeah. I said, you walk up and you talk to him and you tell him who you are, that you're my daughter. And he'll say, oh, I remember him because we used to run around downtown. She goes, damn. She goes, I just couldn't believe that. She goes, it's a free concert here. I'm like, go tell him hi. And when she came home, she goes, I thought you were lying. I'm like, I don't lie. I always tell you the truth, right? I don't exaggerate, embellish. This is the facts. But yeah, I know Rodney Atkins. She goes, you know his songs? I'm like, yeah, I remember when he get famous. It's great for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to watch some of these people. I opened up for Tim McGraw at Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
When Indian Outlaw came out.
Yeah.
And then when I was I told you about this Nolan Capps guy, took me to the Grand Ole Opry in Ernest Tubb. I would go down there and visit Nolan, talk through stuff with him. He'd take me out to the bullpen or whatever. But there was a group called the Tennessee River Boys there. Great, great musicians. They changed their name, got a record deal, and became Diamond Rio.
How about that?
I mean, I'm walking around with these guys like no big deal, and they're freaking crazy musicians. They're playing at like Six Flags or something. These guys are off the hook good. And they're just sitting in a room with me waiting for Nolan to show up.
That's wild, isn't it?
I just can't. Sometimes I pinch myself because it's weird.
Yeah.
It's absolutely weird.
Yeah. That is wild.
Yeah.
So now the band's been together, about 10 years, you're saying?
Yeah.
This core group?
Yeah. Well, this core group has. Yeah. Sam and I have been together for a long time. Carrie I've known forever. Kevin's only been, this is his 5th year.
Yeah, I think so.
He quit playing with everybody else. He goes, hey, everybody else is paying my butt. He goes, because I don't care about the money. He goes, I don't like the drama. I don't like the headaches. I don't like you got to do this. You got to do that. Because this is easy. He goes, and it's fun. And Kevin's, he's a really good player, and he's got some great road stories. That dude, he's been on the road. He's been on some road, some big stars. And one of the funniest things I've ever heard him say was he was at the Grand Ole Opry with John Michael Montgomery, and he was running around the corner to go get something, and he looked up and he ran right in to Waylon Jennings. And he goes, I looked up and he goes, there's Waylon Jennings looking at me. He goes, he looks mad. I said, what'd he say? He goes, get the hell out of my way, boy. He goes, yes, sir, Mr. Jennings. He goes, and I took off running the other way. He said, I know what to say as I started running. It cracks me up. But, you get that stuff, but this is, and what I love about this is we're just friends, and we play music, and it's fun, and there's not an ego one. And if somebody wanted to sing a song that I sing, please, hell yeah, I'm going to get a drink of water here. And we don't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll send out a note. Hey, man, we're coming into practice. Anybody got a song that we need to pick up? Kerry, who's one of the modest guys, he's got a good voice, sings great harmony, but he doesn't like to sing. But he does a really good Any Money, and he will wear out shaking. And we added that.
Oh, yeah.
He kills it.
Yeah.
And you would never believe this, being an 80s baby. But I was in practice room one night, and I'm just sitting there. I'm going. The Rapper's Delight, right?
Yeah,
You grew from
yeah.
that. And actually, the bass lick from Good Times. Good Times. Same bass player, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kerry's looking at me. He goes, he's doing his head. I know every word to that song.
You shouldn't have said that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you should have said it.
I do. I said, kick it off. Got the cowbell. Dun, dun, tsk, dun, dun, tsk, tsk, and we did it. By damn, he knows every word to this song.
Rapper's Delight.
Rapper's Delight. So we mixed it.
It's like a 14-minute song,
We do a
right?
blues version. We cut it in half, and it goes right into play that funky music, because he played a lot of disco good stuff. Wild Cherry. So he does that. We do a mashup. And I about freaked out, because we'll go out and we'll play that. And we played it at the McDazzle. People were like, holy crap.
Yeah.
We played it down at Gerstl's in Louisville, and the black DJ comes up. He goes, his exact words were GD, and I don't say that word. But he's like, God, he goes, gosh damn. He goes, y'all play rock? You play country? He goes, your drummer raps? He goes, he's a white boy. He goes, and your dude's got soul on the guitar. Look at his little goatee. He goes, you guys are a Saturday band. He goes, you're not a Friday band. We're bringing you back on Saturdays. And so every gig after that, we got Saturdays.
How about that?
Yeah, it was funny. And it's because we play Rapper's Delight.
From Rapper's
He
Delight.
was tripping out.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That would have to be an
remember
instant
that?
classic
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, people were like freaking out. Yeah, it's fun. And so we'll have crazy requests, and this is the thing that the guys don't like, because you like us to try that song? I think we could do that. They're like, what? I don't know. So just follow along. It goes like this, and I'll carry the drum beat. It's like, he goes, I can't do it that way. It's 4/4. It's half. Then Kevin, who's also a drummer, goes, just follow me, because it's a lead in. And Sam's like, I don't know. It's an easy song. It's 3 chords and a minor. And they'll follow right in. And the songs that we do, I might be a little bit biased. On a scale of 1 to 10, they're usually solid 7s, maybe even 8s. For off the cuff, never practice, just try it one time. Sweet Caroline is on the set list because somebody asked for Sweet Caroline. This sounded really good, so we just kept it. Somebody requests it, now we can do it. It's easy. It's the funnest thing, because the only time we've not really done it, we were playing here in Lexington somewhere. I can't remember the name. SEC Pub. This was years ago. And we're a guy band. And this little girl comes and she goes, can you play Madonna? I'm like, probably not going to be able to do that one for you. Yeah, it's probably not going to work for us. You got anything else, like for guys?
Anything else?
Yes. Yeah.
Just name a song. Any other song.
Yeah.
So for aspiring bands and whatever, what's your words of wisdom for them? What's your guidance for them?
It depends on what they're trying to do. If they're trying to make it, it's probably a different set of advice.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make it, I would say, don't change who you are. No different than I tell my kids if they bring somebody home as a partner. Don't change who you are for the person you think somebody wants you to be. Same in music. I think people can sense if you're genuine or you're fake, right? I think people that, Sam said it earlier, I don't really sing country. I don't have a twangy country voice. I write decent country songs, but I don't sound country all the time, right? There's some element of it that's there, but that's who I am. I'm not going to try to be a Dwight Yoakam.
Right.
That's not me. I would recommend that they stay their course, they find their groove, and be passionate about what they do. Play as much as you can, And I'm a firm believer of, in every set that you play, you don't have to introduce it. Do 2 of your songs. That's what we do. I don't introduce my songs anymore. I just play them as part of the show. And then afterwards, I'll say, hey, there's some of the songs in the set list that we had. We did about 8 or 10 from our first 2 albums. We got some CDs over here for sale. It's like, oh, what? Oh, that sounded like it right off the radio. Yeah, give me, how much are they? I mean, I think that's really important because I didn't learn to play the guitar to be a cover band guy.
Right.
I learned to play guitar and start a band because we write our own stuff. We like to play our stuff. The necessity is the bars need you to keep people happy. And you got to play what they hear on the radio. And you got to do a decent job at it. But there's nothing to prevent you from throwing in some of your own stuff. And that is fulfilling to you. So I do that. And then if you're really going to do it, you got to find some people that you trust because there's some real snakes. I'm telling you, dude, I've seen it all, David. It's bad. Luckily, we've had really good exposure in our real jobs that you can sift through a pile of crap and know that it's bad. So we've been able to say thanks, but no thanks. But you know what? I think sometimes it's easier to walk away and just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're just doing it like we do it, just to have fun, you got to find a group of guys that have no egos.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
In this area, particularly. There's a lot of people that believe they're better than they are, or they have strong opinions, and they push that inside of a thing that to me should be just fun and just fulfilling. And if you got people that are doing that, you should not be in that because it won't turn out well.
Yeah.
I've been in a couple of that bands and I'm like, God dang, I'm so glad when that dude left. Right? Because they're superstars in their mind and they're assholes in reality. And that's bad. I played in a couple of those bands, but dude, you're such a jerk.
Yeah.
You need to stop. So,
yeah.
And at the end, as we say, we don't do this for the money. The money is a bonus. If we can go out and just enjoy and entertain people, and we always say this after every show, no matter where we play, there'll be 2, maybe 3 people to come up and they'll go, why aren't you guys on the road? You're like one of the best bands we have never heard of. Who are you? Where are you from? Happens in Indianapolis. Every place we go, it'll happen. Even here locally, it happens.
Yeah.
And that to me is that, man, that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Because we're just having fun, just having a blast. We'll be laughing on stage, right? Just having a great time. And people come up and it's like, damn, that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about the Snakes. I just keep thinking, is it Alan Jackson, the Murder on Music Row?
No, that's Larry Cordell.
Larry Cordell.
Yeah. Larry Cordell. He's a Moorhead grad. He's right here from Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew the name. I didn't know it was his song, though.
Yeah, he wrote it. Yeah. Yeah, he's a cool cat, too. I got to do a songwriting thing with him with Jerry Salee, who is Alex. So Alex, what's that dude's
Miller?
Yeah, Alex Miller came and opened for us at the headliner stuff we did with Kentucky Proud. And so he played before we did. And I got to tell you, I didn't really realize how tall that dude was.
He's tall.
Well, we had the stage set for us, and he walked up to the microphone, and I raised it 2 feet.
Wow.
Up to get to him. He's like 6'6".
Yeah.
And he plays and he's fun, but he opened for us. So Jerry Salee was his guy that signed him to his radio, but he and Larry Cordell were down at Boston Mountain. I got to meet these guys and play with them. They're like some of the best songwriters of the 90s that you've ever heard. And Jerry has now he's more on the Dove side, on the Christian side, but they can't even get a record deal. These guys got like 20 #1 hits a piece.
Wow.
And they're independents. That tells you how weird this industry is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to me. Larry he's a cool cat, and he's a Moorhead Eagle. That's awesome.
What about their big trip to the tournament, right? How cool is that, man?
I know. And I got to tell you, Facebook is lit up today with everybody texting about Calipari going to Arkansas. I don't know if that's a done deal yet while we've been here, but it sure sounded like it might be a done deal.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Moorhead's coach turned around and left.
Yeah, he did. Took him, and he got an offer to go someplace. The guy that's coming in actually played ball there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be good. Moorhead was a good school. I really loved my time there.
Yeah.
And I could have went a couple different places, but I really liked Moorhead.
I started to go there, of course, from Ashland's next door, right? But when Dad retired, he got a job at Eastern, so I ended up transferring down that way.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Sam's a Kentucky boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kentucky's got a lot of good schools like Moorhead and, David Lusby in Georgetown. He's done real well. You knew him. Eastern, we've had a family go there for nursing.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that was getting his MBA when I was working in another place, and he said it was much better than UK experience.
Yeah.
And in Western, they have the Governor's Scholar. So
Kentucky's got some really good educational programs, to be honest. I'm a firm believer, and this is just my opinion, and I told my 2 younger girls this. Go somewhere that you get the most money for your education, because you'll get more out of it the more that you put into it. You could go to the best school in the United States, but if you half-ass it, you're only going to get half the education. You go to Moorhead where you get a full ride, you put in the effort, you'll get a similar education as somebody's paying $200,000.
Yeah.
And then go do your master's someplace that's different, right?
Yeah.
Because in today's world, I didn't have to have a master's degree. You didn't either. I mean, you had a college degree. You came out. You had a really good opportunity to go to work. But nowadays, kids are getting further and further higher up into this chain. And I don't know how they afford it, to be honest. Yeah. Luckily, all our kids got scholarships. They'd be out of luck.
Yeah.
I don't make that kind of money.
I remember when I started, my mom Dad sent me what was tuition, $350 a semester.
Wow.
That was a lot of money.
It's not even a book now.
It's not even a book.
Part of a book. Yeah. All right, let's not get down the education path. Let's get back to music. So let's get another song in before we close this thing out.
What are you going to do, Sam?
I mean, we could try something like Buck Wild Acoustic and see what happens. Do you want to try it, or it's risky?
No, that's a rough one.
Is that too risky?
Yeah, that's a rough one on acoustic. Right. Let's do how about let's do She Took Everything But to Blame. I can capo that. Yeah, that's I say that all the time. I laugh because people that know me from my Paris 20 years in Bourbon County will completely get that song.
Kevin does that lead, and hang on a minute.
That's close.
Close enough.
Close enough. 1, 2. It's been a rocky road. I've had a heavy load. Well, things haven't been so great. I called her up at 2, said nothing I can do. Tonight I'm working late. I pulled into the drive about 10:45. All my kids were playing a game. But to my surprise, I couldn't believe my eyes. She took everything but the blame. Well, 10 years, 2 dogs, 3 kids later, I'm sitting on my kitchen table wondering, did she have just cause to leave? Well, should I laugh, cry, or just lay down and die? I guess it's all about the same. But she took everything but the blame. Well, I called up some friends and said I'm single again. Let's go out and drink us a few. So we hit the town and I burned it down. Couldn't stop thinking about you know who. Well, then 2 months later I was served with some papers. The judge gave me back my name. Well, as for everything else, I couldn't consider myself. He gave her everything but the blame. Well, 10 years, 2 dogs, 3 kids later, sitting on my kitchen table, wondering, did she have just cause to leave? Or should I laugh, cry, or just lay down and die? I guess it's all about the same. 'Cause she took everything but the blame. I'll say it. Well, 10 years, 2 dogs, 3 kids later, sitting all alone, my kitchen table wondering, did she have just cause to leave? Well, should I laugh, cry, or just lay down and die? I guess it's all about the same. But she took everything. Well, she didn't give me back my ring. She took everything but the blame. Can I at least keep my Corvette?
Nice. I think that's a perfect country song.
It is. You know,
Yeah.
How come no one ever came up with it before? I couldn't believe it.
I actually think I might release that song. That's
It's not released?
never released it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good country. That is a good country song, and I've never released it. There's a couple on there. My mom wants me to do the song called Anything to Get You Back. She loves it. And Kevin's like, that's your worst song. Don't do that song. I really like it. I
can't believe you haven't released that song.
Yeah, she took it. I tell her, Julie swears, she goes, Robert, she goes, I love the songs that you write. She goes, you release that song, and every man that's ever had an emotional problem with a woman is going to buy that song.
I'm kind of flabbergasted that you haven't released that song.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote down all your releases earlier, and sure enough, it's not on there.
Yeah.
Did you get to keep the Corvette?
I did.
Attaboy.
That was a threat. I tell you what, I promised her, I tell you what, we'll go through mediation. You lay claim to that, and it is a dogfight. I'll fight you on everything, right down to the dishes. I'm going for everything. So I got to keep the Corvette.
Man, you got to release that song.
But then I was so miserable driving the MFing thing, I sold it to Rodney Dodson. Central Kentucky Classic Cars.
Yeah.
He sold it in like 4 hours. It was beautiful. I redid this whole 75 vet. It was convertible, numbers matching, and it made me sick to drive the damn thing. But I did it the last laugh. So Buckwater Whiskey Crazy bought me a nice 911 Carrera.
There you go.
And I piss on that. I'm not going to get upset about it.
No.
But yeah, I told her, I said, I thought about releasing that song because it is a good country song.
That's an awesome country song. Yeah. Yeah. And if Sam wasn't sitting down, the left leg was coming out.
It was coming.
Yeah. He moved, he shifted. I was like, oh shit. It's about to get real. It came time. I was like, yes, sir. I seen it right here.
I can live vicariously through that song because I've been married my whole life to one person.
That's right. She's a good lady.
She's a lady.
All right. So how do we support you? How does our listeners support you? What's the best way?
The best thing to do for us, and this is just saying it out loud, is come to our shows.
Yeah.
You come to our shows. You want to stream the music, great. I would prefer you go to iTunes and just buy it for 99 cents. You know, what people don't understand, I did my taxes this year. On my Spotify playlist, we probably had a little over 2 million streams, right? I'm super proud of that. I don't publish that out there, but I know what I get. My Takes video had over 1 million views, right? It's very cool. It's CMT, GAC, Circle Now, and all this other stuff, right? It's great. So you add all this stuff up, I actually made on streaming $1,600.
Attaboy. Yep.
So think about that. I'm not complaining because that, by my standards, that's half of an album.
Yep.
But if those people would have just went out, like my first song, like guys in Germany, they downloaded it for $1.29. I get 99 cents. I made 20 grand overnight.
Yeah.
So and that's where the big label stuff comes in. When you hit major country, people go out and actually buy your single. Or, sounds crazy, I sell koozies for $5. I would much rather you come and buy a koozie
Yeah.
for $5 than stream me for a year, because I would make more money just selling merch at the shows.
Yeah.
But for us, again, it's not about the money, but we would prefer to have every show we were at, if we had 150 people show up, that'd be awesome. Because half of those people are going to be dancing and having fun, relaxing. People are going to be in and out. But, you know, I don't know if you know, but I own the old Cheapside building downtown.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we'll play down there during Thursday Night Live stuff, and people overflow from there. They'll come in, we'll set up the stuff, the horse and jockey, and we'll play a couple times a month just there on Thursday nights. And people come in, they're like, how come you guys ain't outside playing here? You guys are better than all the people. We're like, man, we just play for fun. Come in and have a drink with us.
Yeah.
And we'll pack that place out. And they love us because we'll play all the stuff that you'd ever want to hear and our stuff. And there'll be, in that little place, 50 people is a lot.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's fun.
It feels good.
Yeah, because people are coming in and they're, again, coming up to you going, my God, you guys are great. You should be on the road.
Yeah, you get these out-of-town people who are just visiting the Bluegrass, and they say, what's this? Well, where are you on the road next?
Yeah.
Go, oh, we're just here.
Yeah.
That's
Come
cool.
and see us.
So it's the merch is the way. That's what a lot of people talk about. Do you run into places that say they want percentages? Seems like that conversation kicked up not too long ago.
No, I've never had that one pop up. But to be honest, the guys laugh. I wheel this trunk out every time, but because we're setting up PA, because we're sound checks, walking around talking to people, I hardly ever take a T-shirt out of the thing. I have my kids do it if they're around. I don't ever push it. But I have tons of shirts. I'll get you a couple Robert Eskridge and Southern Daze. But yeah, we need to do it because that's where you make the most money. But again, I don't do it for the money, so it never really crosses my mind. If this was all I did, I'd be pushing merch every other second.
Yeah.
But you know, because we do it for fun and we don't really do it for the money, the merch is something that I have, but I don't really push for you very much. I have sold a bunch of CDs, but other than that, they don't take the T-shirts and stuff.
So downloading the music is
oh yeah, go download that for 99 cents. It's a big help, man.
Yeah, I think you've got 3 albums out, 3.
Well, one of them was it's weird. So on that second, The Heroes at Home, Glasses Up, they wouldn't let me release it for whatever reason. TuneCore, who's my distribution partner, wouldn't let me release it as part of the album, so I had to release it as a single. I don't know why.
But I've got it as part of the album.
It is.
When I downloaded it,
but when I released it, it would only let me do it as Glasses Up.
Huh.
So if you look you'll see.
Maybe I did order it that way.
Yeah. When you look out there, you'll see the Simple Things EP, and then you'll see The Heroes at Home, then you'll see Glasses Up. I don't know why it worked out that way, but
now on my phone, it's lumped them all together.
Yeah, then it will because it's the same ISRC number.
How about that?
It's weird the way that one worked out, and I couldn't figure it. But yeah, I had to do a whole album cover for it and everything. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was. I don't understand half the stuff sometimes, but
yeah, that's right.
It's you just okay. I'm sorry, Mark. Here's a cover. Here's an ISRC. Please release this one. And again, that one was 247 on Billboard. That was our one big time hit. That flew up Music Row and went right up to Billboard.
Yeah, so when I'd play at home, I'll play that one.
Yeah,
because that's a fun song to play.
It is. People love that one in the bars.
Yeah, and I can't believe you haven't released that other song.
Oh, she took everything but the blame.
Gosh,
yeah.
Come on, Robert.
I'm going to do it.
All right,
I'm going to do it.
It's a done deal. You heard it right here.
That's right.
All right, stream some music.
Okay.
Find you on your website. Come
Facebook,
out, see the shows.
Yeah. Instagram.
What else we need to know?
That's it. New album's coming out later this year. All our shows are up on the website. And well, I tell you, I appreciate you guys having us too.
Oh my gosh,
it's nice
awesome.
It's funny watching our kids grow up through Facebook.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I do like about that whole meta world is you don't have to really be in touch with people for 10 years every day.
Right,
you can watch what they post and really see kind of how their life has progressed. And like, man, I'm so glad. That's great. And they opened up a sugar shop. That's sweet. Oh, that's great. She did that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to connect at that level too, right? So it's nice, but it's really good to see you.
Yeah, same.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
nice to meet you too.
Yeah. All right, then, guys, download the music, visit the website, get some merch, go see the show.
Show.
Yeah, man, it's been great.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, see you next time.
Appreciate it.